to you by Pepsi, Kinetico, Spectrum, UNC Health, Vector Security, North Carolina Education Lottery, Harris Teeter, Kia, and Cardinal Apparel. You're listening to the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network.
One down, one to go. In the simplest of terms, the Carolina Hurricanes played their way into a corner. The only way out is step by step. Step one, Monday night in Florida. Carolina hopes to take another tonight. Hi, everyone. I am Adam Gold. And Monday night in Sunrise, the Canes forced the Panthers to hop on a plane back to Raleigh. They extend the series with a 3-0 win, and it was a game of a lot of firsts for the Hurricanes. First time they didn't allow a first-period goal in the series. First time they had a lead over Florida at any time. And as it turned out, the first time in 19 years that they won a game in the third round of the NHL playoffs, ending that silly narrative. 3 games in, the numbers were grotesque in their one-sidedness. 16-4 in goals on aggregate. Hurricanes' 2 goalies each carried a sub-800 save percentage. I still can't wrap my mind around that. And Carolina had been outshot in 2 of the 3 games of the series, not what happens normally. So entering Game 4 and facing elimination, the Hurricanes needed to stay unscathed early and see if they could actually get a lead. First period, Florida came out with chances.
Chance here behind the net for Florida. Bennett out in front. He'll bat one. Save made by Anderson. Loose puck, tops of the circle. Forsling shot. That'll go wide.
Freddie Anderson's first early test.
Right now it's Verhaeghe with a break, and his shot goes just wide. Excellent play defensively to get back and deny the pass by Jacob Slavin.
Surviving the first period? Check. Now about the lead.
Nikishin back in his own zone makes a nice play away from Rodriguez.
Nikishin looks the part again. There he goes.
Now he'll backhand one up Stankoven. Stankoven with a shot. He scores! Logan Stankoven! And for the first time in this series, the Canes have a lead. It's 1-0. Carolina on another bullet by Logan Stankoven.
Nikishin with his first point in the NHL. What a pass he made across the ice to the red-hot Logan Stankoven, who goes top cheese for your first lead in the series.
Yeah, not a great sign when you don't have a lead of any kind until the second period of Game 4, but at least you got it. Now, you got to hold it.
Alexander Barkov trying to turn. Slavin takes him down to the ice neatly. Schmidt will keep it in across for Bolinski's. His shot through traffic. Rebound was available as it was off the catching glove of Anderson.
What a play by Slavin. Saved a goal after being physical on Barkov.
It was incredible. Slavin would play 28 minutes. He helped Anderson protect the lead until Carolina's chief nemesis, Sergei Bobrovsky, was gone.
Bennett plays it all the way around for Tkachuk. Tkachuk loses it. Carolina with a chance. Empty net. Jarvis across. Svechnikov hands it off. Empty net. Bingo! Carolina. Sebastian Aho drills it. And it's a 2-0 lead for the Canes with 2:11 left here in the third period.
Jordan Stahl would add another one for the final margin, which brings us to tonight, Game 5 at the Lenny. And the idea that you don't have to win 4 in a row. You only have to win 1 game tonight. And contrary to popular opinion, you don't have to be perfect. You're not going to be. But when you do make a mistake, can you get out of trouble without damage? And that's what it's all about this time of year. We'll be back with lineups and more after these words from your local stations on the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network.
Guys, Marcy Bailey here from Bailey's Fine Jewelry with some diamond advice. Buying an engagement ring doesn't have to be so complicated. We've been doing this since 1948, and we know what women want. A combination of size and quality. And a little hint here, size wins big. We guarantee you can be in and out in under an hour, and she'll love the ring or your money back. It's that easy. Come see why we're voted the best place to buy a diamond. And remember, every woman wants a Bailey box.
Enjoying the game? Hempy's can help. Hempy's is North Carolina's favorite hemp and CBD shop. And as long as you order before 9 p.m., local same-day delivery is absolutely free. Hempy's products are made with clean, natural ingredients, and each product
Hey hockey fans, thanks for hanging out with us tonight for Game 5. The Hurricanes forced a Game 5. So we're here hanging out, cheering on your favorite team. Welcome Panthers fans, we see you in the chat. Will you get it done tonight? The season is on the line for the Hurricanes. The Panthers could put one step closer to that back-to-back Stanley Cup championship. But the Oilers may have something to say about that from the Western Conference, but we'll see how this one plays out tonight. We're celebrating this beautiful new Play Button Silver Creator Award plaque from YouTube tonight on the stream. Thank you all for hanging out with us and hitting the like button, sharing this stream out, hitting the subscribe button if you're new. This is what it turns into right here. Thank you, TSI community, this Leafs community, Blue Jays community. Oh yeah, we're live for the Blue Jays as well right now. NBA action is part of our Playoff Pulse campaign for SickKids Hospital. And TFC, that's right, TFC as well, to match the red in here. We'll see you back in the chat. Good luck to your team.
Bad company for Jordan Staal. A lot was made of the players the Panthers did not have for Game 4, even while the Hurricanes were dressing two rookies on the blue line. But it is a factual statement that Florida was without goal machine Sam Reinhart, emerging star on the blue line Nico Mikkola, and fourth line grinder A.J. Greer. All three will play for Paul Maurice's team tonight. Now, injuries and scratches brought to you by UNC Health, official healthcare provider of the Carolina Hurricanes. No Jalen Chatfield, no Sean Walker. You know what that means. Ty Smith, Riley Stillman, Jack Roslovic, Tyson Jost, Juha Jaska will all sit out. Sebastian Aho, Seth Jarvis, and Andrei Svechnikov go out. I would imagine that if Carolina is successful and sends this series back to Florida for a Game 6, that trio is on the score sheet. I'll even take empty net goals. Jordan Staal, Jordan Martinook, and Logan Stankoven. Jesperi Kotkaniemi in the lineup with Taylor Hall and Jackson Blake. Mark Jankowski centers Eric Robinson, and Will Carrier as you hear Darius Rucker whining the siren. On the back end, Jacob Slavin and Brent Burns, Dmitry Orlov and Alexander Nikishin, Shane Gostisbehere, and Scott Mara. Frederick Anderson will be in net again, coming off the second postseason shutout of the season. He blanked the Caps on 23 shots back in Game 3, 20 saves in the shutout last night. Already mentioned Jordan Staal's career in elimination games. 3 other Hurricanes with good records in these situations. Sebastian Aho has 12 points in those 12 elimination games. 4 goals and 4 goals and 8 points. And Aho's 4 goals, third most in franchise history, behind Kevin Dineen and Dave Babbage. And 3 of those 4 goals have come in the last 4 elimination games. Jordan Martinook also has been successful in this situation. He has 7 points in 10 elimination games for the Hurricanes. And how about Jacob Slavin? 12 elimination games, 7 points, and a +5. And in only 2 of those games has he had a negative rating by the end of the game. And by the way, remember there are 6 losses, not 2. My guess is Slavin probably approaches 30 minutes again tonight. You don't have to be perfect. You have to play your game for as long as you can. Don't succumb to Florida's shenanigans. Maybe even be the first one to them like it appeared Carolina was in game number 4. And yes, it's very simple. There is no tomorrow, but all you got to do is win 1 game. Mike Maniscalco and Trip Tracy will have the call. Canes, Panthers, Game 5, after these words from your local stations on the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network.
Make your next tailgate more electric when you plug into a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Not only do they light up the scoreboard with outstanding payload and towing numbers, with available Pro Power on board, you can turn these Ford trucks into mobile generators to give your tailgate party an extra boost of energy. Visit your Carolina Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com for great offers and to learn more about F-150 and Super Duty. It's the owner's manual for important operating instructions.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back good old days are being made right now.
Bluebell Groom's Cake Ice Cream is renewing its vows on the frozen aisle. Milk chocolate ice cream with chocolate cake pieces, chocolate-coated strawberry hearts, swirls of strawberry sauce, and chocolate icing. See you at the reception.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell Ice Cream at select Target stores and all Super Target stores.
John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington is taking the hassle out of getting the best price on your new 2025 Ram 1500 with employee pricing for everyone. And along with employee pricing, you could get 3.9% for 72 months too. See dealer for details. With John Heister having the largest inventory and the best selection in the Raleigh area, you're sure to find the one with your name on it. So get off your keister and come to Heister to get in on employee pricing. John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
At the V Foundation, V is for victory over cancer. V is for victory over giving up.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Join our team in the fight against cancer at V.org.
WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs.
Welcome inside Lenovo Center. Game number 5 of the Eastern Conference Final. The Carolina Hurricanes have pushed this series back here to Raleigh. And again, the formula stays the exact same. If the Hurricanes want to see a Game 6, they have to find a way to get a win here tonight. Alongside Trip Tracy, Mike Maniscalco here on your Hurricanes Radio Network. And Trip, how do the Canes get us back on a plane to South Florida?
Whether they get rewarded for it or not, a noticeably good start. I like what Rod's doing here. Games 1 and 2 with last change that rotates back to Rod Brindamore. He played Stahl against the Barkov line. He's going to rotate to Sebastian Aho's line. So I like that. A bit of a delay here because it looks like Sergei Bobrovsky has a pad issue. Might be a strap. You can only give him so much time. And it looks like he's just about got it rectified. And I think about that. As brilliant as Bobrovsky has been, he's so mentally tough, but this was a pretty decent delay. He's going back to his crease now to put on his mask and grab his stick. He's so routine-oriented. You can jump on him early. Easier said than done. You put yourself in a great position.
Well, both goaltenders tonight have a shutout in this series. Bobrovsky in game number 2. Frederik Andersen getting the start, coming off of that 20-save shutout performance in game number 4. That has kept the Hurricanes season alive, and we are ready for game number 5. And here we go. Face-off is won by Florida. Drop back for Seth Jones, up for Sam Reinhart. Back in the lineup, he's missed the last 2 games with a lower body concern. Puck in the Cane zone. Barkov will get to it just inside the left point. His shot goes just wide to the right of Anderson's net, and Carolina to the rebound. Burns with a quick up, trying to feed Jarvis, intercepted by Reinhart. He'll slide this in. Rodriguez with pressure, but played away by Jarvis in Carolina. We'll get it to Svechnikov. He needs to make a change. He'll just dump this back into the Florida zone.
Already 2 good plays by Mikkola back in the game. He had a good aggressive pinch that prevented what would have been a 2-on-1, then a tight gap in the neutral zone.
And now this puck will bound into the Cane zone, but icing against the Florida Panthers. So we'll bring it all the way back into the Cats' end of the rink with 44 seconds gone by here in the first period.
And Jordan Stahl, different matchup for him at home. He's got this offensive zone draw, had the empty netter after really, I thought, an outstanding game on Monday. He's going to play against Bennett tonight.
Now wait for the face-off. Tonight's officials, Kelly Sutherland and Jean Hebert. And Stahl will get help from Martinook. They'll try to win it back to Nikishin. Alexander Nikishin with his first NHL point coming in Game 4. And as you correctly pointed out, partner, in stylish fashion on a backhand pass for Logan Stankoven, which proved out to be the game-winning goal for Carolina. As back to action here, Bennett will run Kulikov around the end boards, but the Canes can clear it forward. Martinook shoved down, as Ekblad had a little two-hander for him, and another icing play here by Florida. So another offensive zone draw coming up for Carolina.
There have been pushes for both teams in the face-off circle. Stahl was dominant through 2 periods, then he came back to earth in the 3rd period. Aho was quite good. This is going to be Mark Jankowski here with his 2nd offensive zone draw, 2nd icing for Florida here in the 1st minute and change.
Jankowski wins it back for Burns. Burns bounces it to Slavin. He'll wrap it around the boards where Jankowski will get it. Backhand pass through the blue paint. Oh, what a play by Jankowski. And now he'll come up with a turnover. Robinson out in front. He swats at it. Save Bobrovsky. Chance Jankowski. That goes just wide. Carrier will keep it in. Back to Burns. Burns shot with traffic. And Bobrovsky will make the save. Oh, what an infusion of energy from this line. And Lenovo center comes to its feet in appreciation.
Started with the draw, super shift from Jankowski. Little tight action, he had penetration to the goal line and just missed with the one-toucher. Then you had puck retrieval, you went low to high. Terrific chance. I don't think Robinson, who was at the post to the left of Sergei Bobrovsky, thought Jankowski in skilled fashion was going to find him. He wasn't prepared for it. Jankowski's going to stay on the ice, why wouldn't he?
This line just provided the light to the fuse for the Canes fans here, and Jankowski wins it again. And the Canes, Slavin will go diagonal in the corner. Jankowski keeps it in along the left wing boards. Across for Slavin. Slavin holds, shoots, save Bobrovsky. And it's kept in for the moment. Now bounced off of Eetu Lesterainen. And Slavin will play it, and he'll get it back up for Jankowski. Florida got away with maybe too many men. Looked like they had 6 guys on the ice for a good second or two. They'll clear, but Gostisbehere will get to it. Up for Hall. Bouncing puck settled down by Marchand. His pass into the skates of A.J. Greer, and Carolina will take it. Right up for Hall. Long shot. That'll be blocked away by Bobrovsky. Into the corner to his right. Behind the net goes the puck. Nosek trying to play it away from Blake. Carolina getting off to that good start trip that you wanted as Kotkaniemi almost steals the Nosek pass. Got a stick to it. And now a chance for Florida as Gadjevich rolls it into the Kane zone. Anderson banks it hard off the boards. Blake wanted to play it to Hall, but that'll deflect. A chance for Gostisbehere to clear. Couldn't do it. Second effort. Carolina will get it up to Stahl. Stahl. He'll stride into the Florida zone. Take it to the corner. He'll throw a pass back to the middle of the rink. He was looking for Martinook, but it came over the Florida blue line, and Carolina needs to tag up. Sent to deep. Stahl finishes Seth Jones with a purpose in the corner. Nikishin pinches in, loses the handle, and Tkachuk is able to clear this one into the Kane zone.
What bite early from Carolina. You had contact on Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky really helped it along, keep going to the front of the net. Boy, what a super start.
No chance for the Canes. Stankoven with it. Down the left wing. Cuts to the middle of the rink. His shot goes off the skate of Bennett. He was looking to throw that one to Bobrovsky. Now Carolina will come up with a loose puck again. Slavin across. Burns tries to get the shot through. That'll be deflected over the glass into the netting. And the Canes have tilted the ice for the first 3 minutes and 39 seconds of this one.
The place is buzzing. Logan Stankoven, a hero throughout the series. Carolina's been sharp in the neutral zone. He received a pass just inside the Florida blue line, and I could feel his thought process. He had to think that Bobrovsky thought he was going to shoot and go high to the blocker like he did on the first goal. He tried to cut to the middle. It was a good thought, even though it didn't work.
Aho wins the draw. He'll get it right back. His shot goes off of Ekblad into the corner to the right of Bobrovsky. Jarvis doing some work. Barkov given his shoulder by Svechnikov, but he'll play it around for Forsling. Well, airmail this one into Kane zone. A chance to clear by Slavin. Second chance, Rodriguez with a shot, and Anderson has to hold the post and does. 4 minutes gone by in the first, and that's the best chance that Florida's had.
Yeah, that is. And so Freddie Anderson, a testy save, and specifically, Mike, what was he? He was perfect on Monday night. If he struggled in the playoffs, it has been pucks off the end boards. You know, I think about the first goal in Game 5 in Washington. That puck went off the end boards. Carolina had gotten a stick on it. He found his post and immediately made a quality save on Rodriguez.
Offensive zone draw, Reinhart against Aho. Now Reinhart asked to leave, so Rodriguez will take the draw. Boston University product, Evan Rodriguez, 10 assists this postseason. Canes will win it, though. They'll flip it, and excellent hustle by Jarvis. So there's no icing. Now puck behind the net. Svechnikov will get it to Jarvis, trying to go back to Svechnikov. This will be intercepted by Barkov. Alexander Barkov, the captain for the Florida Panthers. He'll work it in deep. Behind the net, Reinhart. He'll leave it for Rodriguez. Rodriguez to the point for Forsling. His low drive kicked away by Anderson.
Canes are using the high flip pretty successfully so far in the D zone.
Now a turnover. Here comes Aho on a break. Shoots, he scores! Carolina strikes first. It's 1-0. And the Canes off to an incredibly hot start.
Same shot location that he did on the overturned goal in game 2. Bobrovsky, if he has a flaw, when he gets moving, when you're mano-a-mano, go right underneath the heel of his stick. When he moves, he's not stationary, which means that's the one time that you're going to find daylight when you go low. What a goal.
A turnover in the neutral zone. And Sebastian Aho makes Florida pay. And this building has cranked it up to an 11. Now Nikishin, top of the left circle, his shot. That'll be blocked by Marchand. Can't clear. Orlov will keep it in. Deep for Jankowski. This line getting another look early in this one after a dominant shift about 90 seconds into this game. Carrier all the way back into his own zone as Luosterainen sent it there. Now diagonal pass for Robinson. He'll get a touch, so no icing. Jones up the boards, almost given away to Kotkaniemi. It'll be knocked out to center ice. Canes will roll it back in. Mikkola up the right wing boards to Greer. He goes across for Jones. Jones gains center ice, wraps it around the Canes zone. Gadjevich behind the net looking for Nosek. That puck will be bounced away, picked up. Taylor Hall looking for a little offense. We'll flip this one into the corner. Blake going after it. And it'll be steered free by A.J. Greer, who's back in the game after missing game 4. As Florida's fourth line was effective in the first 3 games, not so much in game number 4 for Paul Maurice.
You've had both energy and execution here early.
Now Gostisbehere trying to get it out. Kept in by Bennett. He cuts to the front of the net. Puck still there. Back for Forsling. His shot will miss everything. Kept in by Ekblad. He'll go behind the net. Send it out in front. Bennett with a shot. He was headhunting. That missed the net. Kept in by Forsling at the left point for Rodriguez. Bounces it off the side of the net. It'll come free to Blake. And now it'll be cleared out.
First turnover for Carolina was Gostisbehere of the game, and Carolina survives it.
Now Stankoven creates an offensive zone turnover on Florida, but they'll survive it. Up to Bennett. Bennett, though, gives it away. Stankoven with a great play to keep it in. Top of the right circle. He'll hand it off for Martino. 13-15 remaining here in the first period. 1-0 Carolina on Sebastian Aho's 6th goal of the postseason. Now Rodriguez. He'll touch this one on the right side of the center ice red line into the Canes zone. Florida will change up. And the Canes fans are howling. And as well they should. Mikkola bodies up on Jarvis just outside the Florida blue line. Now loose puck, center ice. And this will be chipped back. Sent into the Canes zone. It'll take an odd bounce. Anderson plays it high off the glass, knocked down by Reinhart. Now a chance here for Carolina to clear. Kept in at the point by Jones. Now sent back behind the net. Looking for Verhaeghe. It goes back to the point. Shot blocked. Tipped away, and Carolina will clear it.
2 good plays. First Svechnikov, then blocked from Jarvis.
Now Barkov goes across the rink. He got it to Reinhart. His pass, the return feed for Barkov, too hot. Kept in, though, at the point. Now a chance. Low drive. Mr. Anderson into leather. Flashing it and takes that shot away from Brad Marchand. 12-12 left in the first. And the Canes playing like they know their season's on the line. Up 1-0 over Florida. It's game number 5 of the Eastern Conference Final here on the Hurricanes Radio Network.
To us, every moment matters. Moments of quiet perseverance. and loud celebrations. Starting moments and the moments that make us feel unstoppable. We're here to help you be present for them all. UNC Health is dedicated to getting you back to what you love. Faster, stronger, and healthier. Official healthcare provider of the Carolina Hurricanes.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything's possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
12-12 remaining here in the first period. Canes up 1-0 on Sebastian Aho's sixth goal of this postseason. And Trip Tracy, I don't know if you could script a better start for the Carolina Hurricanes.
Well, Aho learned from his overturned goal in the second period in Game 2. That's the one time you have a breakaway situation that you go low on Bobrovsky because he's so worried about challenging with his skating ability. It was a really good shift by Brad Marchand before the break. He's very comfortable with these situations, and Freddie made that beautiful glove save on the former Bruins Stanley Cup champion.
36th series clinching game for Brad Marchand. 7 goals, 17 assists, so slight understatement, partner, on that one. As Marchand will come up with it now, cut to the front of the net, but he can't get the shot free.
Nikishin saved the goal at the last second. What a job getting to the middle from Marchand.
Florida will reload. They'll get around Nikishin here. And a chance to center it. It'll be knocked back. Marchand with it. As Luosterainen took that out in front. Now back behind the net. Robinson trying to clear. Kept in by Luosterainen. Knocked back, sent out in front. Lundell with his shot. Save made by Anderson. And he'll cover up the rebound.
They always talk about how calm he is, but Anderson's standing on his head right now. Mayhem after the whistle. This is the right time for it. And Florida defense will stay. Actually, he had a pinch, so Ekblad and Tkachuk will stay at the circles to keep this face-off in the defensive zone. Is just Nikishin going to the box?
It looks that way.
Carolina 21, minor penalty for roughing.
You know, I really strongly believe that when you have this type of stuff after the win, this is the third time it's happened in Carolina, including the first penalty for Carolina in this series. Aho back in the first period of Game 1. I think about Jarvis in the first period of Game 4 against Washington. Unless it's glaring after the whistle, I find it really difficult that you just take one guy. And it's Alexander Nikishin. Nikishin had saved a goal at the last second on Brad Marchand. You've got Reinhart back on this power play. So you just got to move on and kill it. But I just don't like when, unless it's glaring, when they take just one guy.
Well, the Canes penalty killers, who have been stellar the last 2 games of this series, will have to go to work now. The Killers are 9 for 13 in this series. And they'll win the draw. And Burns will hammer this one all the way down, where Bobrovsky will leave it there for Barkov. So Nikishin in the box for roughing. And the Florida power play in this series is 4 for 13. All you got to do is the inverse of the kill.
Burns just had his stick knocked out of his hand, so he's got no stick.
And now trying to center it out in front for Bennett was Reinhart. Reinhart will keep it in along the boards. Ekblad fumbles with it. And a diving chance there by Stahl to try to clear. And then this one will be deflected
over the glass into the netting, so Carolina will get a whistle.
Kelly Sutherland and Jean Hebert, two veteran officials, they got to get a hold of this thing. You know, you're already down a man. Burns had his stick broken in two along the wall. So you call just the one guy, and then Burns, it really becomes a 5-on-3. Now, Carolina's got to be composed and just worry about the next shift. But, come on here. Let's have an even playing field.
Aho. He'll take the draw with Jarvis, Orlov, and Slavin on the kill. Face-off is won by Florida. Reinhart tries a no-look pass, but he'll throw it to Aho, who will calmly pitch this one down into the Florida zone. Now Jones will drop it back. He'll leave it for Reinhart. Reinhart plays it around Slavin, around the end boards. Orlov with a good play on Bennett. Puck will come out and find Ekblad. Ekblad, he goes behind the net. He'll get it right back from Bennett. Now a chance here for Florida. Tkachuk works it back. Jones. And a soft pass there from Reinhart. He'll get away with it. Tkachuk will get to it, but they're going to call. It's going to be touched with a high stick.
And Tkachuk goes after Aho, and this is where Aho just turned the other cheek. The biggest statement you can make is say nothing at all. So you get a neutral zone draw out of this big rig. 38 seconds left in the Nikishin minor, even with Reinhart back, because that's a big piece. Paul Maurice was really speaking about that, how it should help their power play. And this has been an outstanding kill with tremendous pressure and excellent sticks so far with work to be done.
38 seconds of that work as Stahl and Martinook will come back out. Slavin, I don't think he's come off the ice on this kill. And Stahl wins it back for Burns, and Burns rifles one over the head of Bobrovsky. Back into the Florida zone, halfway through this first period. Nate Schmidt, his pass misses everybody. Right back to Burns. Burns can't clear. Kept in by Schmidt, charging into the zone. He'll work this one back for Marchand. He'll hand this one to Bennett at the right circle. Back for Schmidt. Worked around Schmidt's shot. That bounces off of Stahl into the corner. Burns with another chance to clear. Martinook helps out and does get the clear. And that will kill the remainder of the penalty to Alexander Nikishin. And the crowd will let you know.
That puck coming up the wall, Martinook had to settle it with the toe of his stick with pressure coming to get that clear. That was a heck of a clear.
Now Florida will regroup and send this one back into the Kane zone. Nosek has a tip for it. Luosterainen into the corner, fights for it. Gostisbehere's got a stick for it. He's knocked down, and Carolina clears it out. Hostling after it. Coming up with it is Carolina. Out in front, and another brilliant save by Bobrovsky as the Canes hustled in. Will Carrier with a gorgeous look.
What a behind-the-back pass from Robinson to find him. There, I think you got to go upstairs.
And now Carrier finishes his check. It's going to be another penalty on Carolina.
Well, it's Luosterainen, who obviously had that hit on Blake. Carrier tried to get Luosterainen to go, to drop the gloves the entire second period Monday night. And Luosterainen did not want any part of it. Carrier is headed to the box. This did not, we get the benefit of a replay. He goes in, shoulder to shoulder, his left glove just without any force, coming around, just tickles the cheek or the jaw of Luosterainen. That's not a penalty. That is not a penalty.
Carolina penalty number 28, 2 minutes for cross-checking.
Oh, come on. With all the cross-checks that you deal with in the Stanley Cup playoffs, that was shoulder to shoulder. It was his glove at the last second that literally, Mike, I'm doing it to your jaw right now.
There's no need to demonstrate on me.
It's more of a caress.
8:39 left here. You can demonstrate on John Brockwell, our engineer. 8:39 left in the first. Carolina going to be shorthanded again in this first period, but they have a 1-0 lead. It's Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Final. You're listening to it here on the Hurricanes Radio Network.
Hey everyone, Adney and Verk here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch the movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit, and the cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
What? New scratch-offs are out? That means new chances to become a North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club member.
Yeah, in the Winners Club, I'll reinvent myself. I won't go by just plain Todd. I'll go by Toddrick. I'll get a gold jacket, play my saxophone again. I'll stop and smell the flowers, call my mom more.
Oh, wrap it up, Todd.
It's Toddrick.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $100 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 3.35 to 4.58. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Canes fans, something big is happening this season. Our favorite hometown technology giant, Lenovo, is celebrating 20 years in the Triangle, and we're all getting in on the fun. Grab your jersey and meet us at the Lenovo Center, the new name of the home arena of the Carolina Hurricanes. The Lenovo Center is just a slap shot away from Lenovo's headquarters in the Triangle. Come celebrate and cheer on the Canes this season at the Lenovo Center.
When the Canes win at home during the playoffs, download the Chick-fil-A app to claim your offer for a free chicken sandwich by midnight. Available at participating Greater Triangle area restaurants. Love nothing more than for everybody to have a chicken sandwich tomorrow. Right now, though, the Canes have to kill off another penalty. As Will Carrier in the box, they called it cross-checking trip, but the Canes killers have to do the job one more time.
Well, you go back game 4 because there's a late penalty to Gadjevich. It didn't matter. It scored empty netters. So the power plays were 4-2 in that game, and now 2-0. This is a problem, but you got to kill it. And like I said, remember the first period game 4 against Washington? Carolina got a goal, and they had to kill a bunch of penalties. You kill this penalty, your chances of winning this game go way up.
Now the Canes start with their customary face-off winning clear. Florida carries it in the zone, but they'll lose it to Martinook, and he'll backhand one 180 feet back into the Florida zone. 8:10 remaining here in the first period. 90 seconds left in this penalty kill. Reinhart, he'll flip a pass over for Ekblad. He'll roll it back behind the net. Work back for Tkachuk just inside the left point. Out in front, save is made by Anderson on the drive by Barkov, and Carolina cleans up the rebound.
Anderson's a big fella like you, partner, and he has been sharp, the big fella, early. He's been dialed.
You know, the Great Dane, he's been tracking the puck like a Great Dane would a tennis ball. And now it's worked around the Canes zone by Florida. Puck will come free, and Jarvis will hammer it off the glass and out of the zone. 50 seconds left in the kill. Schmidt trying to connect the dots. He does. A little low drive by Verhaeghe. Save made by Anderson. Marchand got to the rebound, then loses it. And Slavin will send this all the way down. And if my eyes do not mistake me, I believe Jacob Slavin has played every second of the penalty kills so far.
He wants the minutes, the added minutes. You play him the whole game if you could.
Now loose puck behind the Canes net, given away out in front. Anderson tracks it, and he'll freeze it right there in the blue paint.
What a stick at the last second on a goal mouth pass. I believe it was Brent Burns. You had a stick from Nikishin on Marchand that saved a goal. And I thought Burns got a piece of what might have been a tap-in at the last second. And now you have some more stuff after the whistle.
Let's see Martinook and Verhaeghe.
Let's see if they give Carolina the only one here, too. You know, unless it becomes a central storyline, Mike, I do not like to go here. But when a team is playing their tails off, facing elimination, had the better of play in Florida on Monday night, and still, really, because the penalty to Gadjevich was meaningless at that point in the game. Power plays for 4-2 Florida. Carolina has come out guns a-blazing in this game, and in 20 seconds, the power plays are going to be 2-0 Florida. That's 6-2 when you really think about it over the last 2 games against a team that's playing really well facing elimination. It just doesn't jive.
Well, let me try to turn that to a positive. You like to say that means the next one better be coming Carolina's way. So we'll see if that'll be the case.
But the Canes have done an exemplary job of just worrying about their kill, which has taken off since Game 3 down in Florida.
6:59 left here in the first period. 20 seconds left in the penalty to Will Carrier. And a big draw here for the Canes captain, Jordan Stahl, and he wins it. Clean across from Martinook, who's got the seam and fires it down into the Florida zone. Martinook broke his stick, gets a new piece of equipment, but he'll head to the bench for a change. Schmidt will wind this one in off the boards into the Canes zone. From the near to the far boards, and Carrier comes out of the box. Canes will kill this one off. Stahl feeds Robinson with a pass. Out in front for Carrier, and he just tied up at the last minute by Forsling, and then Carolina will have to go back as the Panthers flip this back into the Canes zone. Orlov quickly up for Jankowski. Thought he had his first goal of this postseason in Game 4. It got waved off on an offside call. But this line has been good. Nikishin keeps it in. Right point. Orlov deflected out in front by Hall. Just wide. Luosterainen bumped into. Jankowski will keep it in. Little backhander bounding behind the net. Jones given a shove there by Nikishin, who comes all the way in. He'll bounce one out in front. But Florida will get a stick to it, not out. Still in the Panther zone. Luosterainen, he's run by Kotkaniemi legally. But the Panthers able to clear and bounce this into the Canes zone. Nikishin will get to it.
Even if you come up with 2 big kills, it's so hard to get right back on it offensively. The Hurricanes did that, I thought, in the third period Monday. They've done it again here in the last shift. I love the bite of Nikishin. What a hit on Jones.
Now Gostisbehere, he'll wheel this one out of his zone. He'll get it up for Carrier. He'll flip it for Jankowski. Gadjevich will play it along the boards. Carolina wanted to get it back to the point for Gostisbehere, but skated away and now trying to find Greer, but the pass by Nosek too far. Icing on the Panthers with 5:11 left here in this first period.
Gadjevich is jawing with Carrier, and what Carrier should say is, why won't Luosterainen go? This is a good spot, Mike. And Sebastian Aho, who has been on a tear early in this game, now that you're back to 5-on-5, before it won 1-0 and Aho scored the goal, you can really get an indicator of how ready you are to play in the face-off circle. And Aho won a clean draw early. Jankowski in that big shift, he did too. Let's see if Aho can do it again.
Morrow and Gostisbehere, the pairing behind him. Good play there by Svechnikov to win it. Bouncer out in front. Jarvis couldn't settle it down. Along the boards it goes. Nosek giving a hard shove. And now a penalty, and there is the optimism paying off. The penalty to Florida. Now they're trying to go Jarvis into one.
You know what I love? That Paul Maurice, when Florida couldn't change off of icing, he had his 4th line on the ice. Rod Brindamore goes with the Aho line. Good matchup, obviously. The Aho line's been going. They don't score, but they draw a penalty. I love that decision off of
Florida
ice.
penalty number 10. 2 minutes for interference.
A.J. Greer going to the box with 4:56 remaining in the first. And the Carolina Hurricanes will have a power play when we return. Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Final. Hurricanes lead 1-0 with 4:56 remaining here in this first period. You're listening to the Stanley Cup Playoffs on the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network.
Who wants to save up to $1 a gallon on gas with Harris Teeter fuel points? It's easy. Shop at Harris Teeter with your Vic card. Earn 1 fuel point for every dollar.
Where in the world are you watching from? Thanks for hanging out with us today, this morning, this evening, middle of the night, wherever it is where you're watching from all over the world. Now's the time of the show. Please let us know where you're watching from in the chat. Let us know your city and province in there, city and state if you're in the USA, or all over the world. Send those flag emojis out and let's see where the world is gathering from. Hanging out together, making a difference with SickKids Hospital in Toronto. Thank you for being here. Just by being here, you're making a difference. With every view, it calculates into our donation as we do a percentage every single month.
Where in the world are you watching from? Now's the time to show for you to let us know where you're watching from in that chat or by visiting our new live viewers website. Holy Mackinac! As we are passing 100,000 insiders on Toronto Sports Insider, the playoff pulse is a global force. Visit TorontoSportsInsider.com to see our live viewer map and where fans are cheering from right across the globe. While you're there, check out our awesome new website and fresh merch options. Let's keep growing this global community.
Biscuit at participating Bojangles tomorrow morning. Bojangles, it's bow time. And it's go time trip as Carolina now gets their first power play here in the evening with 4:56 remaining in the first and a 1-0 lead.
I love going with Aho against Florida's fourth line to draw this kill.
Now Carolina trying to come up with a puck, but Reinhart got it, gave it away. Jarvis worked it free, and Gostisbehere's shot absorbed by Bobrovsky. He'll hang on.
You know, anybody that watched Sebastian Aho's game or listened to our radio broadcast Monday, he had 7 shots. I love what Svechnikov did on the empty netter. Mentioned it at the time. You know, getting an empty net goals, Andre could have buried it himself. That would only help him for tonight. And he has been, and Rod playing him against Barkov. Not Stahl against Barkov. Love what I'm seeing.
Danes will win the draw back to Gostisbehere in the slot. His shot doesn't get through. Blocked out in front by Forsling, and Florida will clear.
Ekblad left his feet too. That was another face-off win on the tougher face-off side. Aaron Ekblad's been good in this series, and Forsling, well, we've spoken about him.
And Carolina trying to connect the dots there, but the Jarvis pass for Blake was knocked away. But it comes all the way back for Jarvis. He'll go across the blue line, now center ice, into the Florida zone. Down the middle, handed off for Svechnikov. Down the left wing boards, back for Jarvis inside the left point. Gostisbehere, quick little one-touch for Blake at the right circle. He'll get it back, Aho to Gostisbehere, middle of the rink inside the blue line. Now Jarvis, top of the right circle. Jarvis looks, hands it off for Blake. Tries the short side, Bobrovsky makes the save.
Just needs shot that puck a hair late to Jackson Blake. Good puck movement.
Canes will keep it in. Aho, one touch for Gostisbehere. Worked across, 52 seconds left in the power play. Jarvis to Gostisbehere. Gostisbehere and Aho will exchange. Popping free was Svechnikov. Now a chance for Gostisbehere, across for Aho. Side of the net it goes. It'll bounce on Jarvis, but Aho will get to it behind the net for Blake. Blake to Svechnikov. Top of the umbrella, it's Gostisbehere. Gostisbehere to Jarvis, 25 seconds left. Gostisbehere looking for a lane, doesn't have it. Hands it to Jarvis, pass to Blake. A little one-touch here for Aho. Now a chance for Gostisbehere. He'll get it back. The Jarvis try is deflected out of play. Over the glass into the netting. And Forsling going after Svechnikov after the play.
That was some really good puck and body movement, but you had some chances to shoot the puck that I think it would have been the appropriate thing to do. There's no question that this power play has been a good one, but even when you feel good about your skill, and you should, be willing to shoot more pucks. Now, Florida came up with a couple of big blocks. You're going to see, I think, penalties one aside here to Svechnikov and Ekblad.
And we're waiting for the call from Johnny Bear.
Carolina 37, minor penalty for slashing. Florida number 5, minor penalty for roughing.
That was a good-looking power play. You know, as much as I like the puck movement, I love that there weren't any stationary power play attackers. I thought Gostisbehere in particular, I thought his best game, Mike, was game 1. That's when he was most dynamic. He's got that howitzer of a shot. I want to see him use it more. You know, he never panics. Blake had the best opportunity. He got it on the flank to the right of Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky's such a good mover. Once he gets over, Blake tries to go high to the blocker. Unless you get him overreaching, it's not there. If you can just no dust off, fire away, you might score. You're probably going to get a second opportunity with a rebound.
13 seconds left in the power play. Kotkaniemi waved out of the circle for Stankoven. The puck will drop to the corner. Stankoven wanted to center it. It goes off of the skates of Jones. And Florida will clear, and in 4 seconds, we'll have 4-on-4 as Greer will come out of the box. And it's 4-on-4 now. Power play's over for Carolina, but Taylor Hall will work this in deep.
Trying to make a play here for Carolina is Stankoven. Technically, it's still 5-on-5 as Hall has it behind the net. Stankoven. He'll get it back. Burns with a shot. Bobrovsky used the catching glove to knock it down, and then he melted it at the top of his crease with 2:32 left. That was a missile from Brent Burns.
The Canes are doing a heck of a job of winning board battles in the Florida zone and going low to high. And the reason that was such a good opportunity, Mike, Burns was on his offside. He fired it with a ton of pace, high to the glove, but Kotkaniemi had gotten to the front of the net. So, it's got a chance to score as it went in clean. Sergei makes a really good save. But Kotkaniemi ever so close to getting a piece of it with the redirection.
Face off in the Florida zone with 2:32 left here in the first period. 1-0 Canes lead. Stahl wins it clean. And he'll get it back for Nikishin. He'll play it around Sam Bennett, his second shot. Rifles into the corner, but Carolina up with a loose puck. Stahl! He hits the post! Oh, he beat Bobrovsky. Jordan Stahl with a sneaky little shot that beat the netminder. But it was the medal that saved the day there for the Panthers.
He shot it quickly, like I mentioned, looking for in the power play. Post square on the blocker's side.
Now Stankoven wanting to clear, kept in by Rodriguez. Turnover by the Canes. Florida going to work. Orlov with a beautiful defensive play. Centering attempt for Bennett. He can't get to it. Nikishin off of his backhand, too far for Martinook. Played back by Jones. Orlov intercepts for Carolina.
I want to see Nikishin be physical, but not to put himself out of position. That created a 2-on-1. What a bounce back, almost 4 periods for Orlov. He made a heck of a play there.
Dmitry Orlov, 38 hits this postseason, averaging a touch under 22 minutes a game. There's now Jones and Jarvis going to the corner to the left of Anderson, and then Jones got the worst of it from Jarvis. Barkov, though, will keep it in at the right point. Let's send this one across. Good defensive play made here as Carolina can clear. And it's dropped back here for Aho. He scores! He got the shot through. Bobrovsky couldn't stop it. And it's 2-0 Carolina. Oh, he put enough mustard on it. And it's 2-0.
What a play by Blake at his own blue line to even get it out. And Sebastian Aho, he didn't get rewarded to the degree he deserved in Game 4. But he has been a superstar playing against Barkov and company. You really did a job, Blake, getting it out. Great work from Jarvis on Mikkola at the Florida blue line. Aho uses Mikkola as a screen. Bobrovsky gets a piece of it with the inside of his blocker, but not enough. Sebastian Aho, superstar.
Last minute of play here in the first, if you can hear that. Florida gets it back into the Cane zone. A drive by Forsling doesn't get through, but the rebound was winged out in front, and Anderson calmly knocks that one down on the Nosek offering.
You know, Mike, I give Rod Brindamore a ton of credit from the standpoint he saw the way Aho played against Barkov without last change in Game 4. He was great. He had 7 shots. It took until the empty netter for him to get rewarded for that performance. So when you come home and he had played Stahl against Barkov, oh no. Play Aho, Jarvis, Svechnikov against him. Blake was on the ice there. 3-zone play.
Now Florida will keep it in. They'll win the offensive zone draw. He'll go back for Kulikov. His drive. That goes off of Carrier and out of the zone. Florida has to tag up. Aho's 7th of the postseason, 2nd of this period.
You were mad this morning because I knew I'd be with you with contact all night in the booth when I just came over. You were right there. I didn't say anything. I just shook Aho's hand.
No reason to say anything.
Oh, has he been great?
Now Carolina has to tag up. As Carrier was stuck in the zone, a little bumping going on there, and now 5 seconds left in the period. Florida with it. Kulikov gives it away. Kotkaniemi will pick it up, and that is how the first period comes to a close. 2 goals by Sebastian Aho. The second one assisted by Seth Jarvis, and a 2-0 lead for the Carolina Hurricanes after 20 minutes in a win or season over situation again. And the Canes have really answered the bell here at Lenovo Center.
Don't forget about those 2 sensational kills at 1-0 and more timely dialed-in saves from Anderson as we set the tone for Adam Gold in the intermission. Enjoyed the heck out of it, Mike. Work to be done.
A bunch of work to be done. The first intermission report coming up. Adam Gold will walk you through what you heard in the first period. Coming up after this, it's Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Final. You're listening to the Stanley Cup playoffs on the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network.
Hey, it's Adam Golden. I am in studio with my friend Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. Quality you can afford. What do you mean by that?
Well, isn't that great? That's
It's great. I like that.
So
as a motto.
we have customers all the time that call us out for windows, and they don't think they can do all of them at once. And you don't have to. We have 18 months, 0 interest financing. We have all kinds of plans, actually. So whatever your budget is, if you're putting off windows because you don't think you can do it now, call us out and let us at least price it for you and give you some options of how we can make it easier.
800-672-4348, aluminumcompany.com.
Navy Federal Credit Union celebrates Military Appreciation Month in May. Whether you're active duty, a veteran, or a military family, we are all united this month to celebrate those who go above and beyond. As a credit union created for the military community, Navy Federal takes special care to ensure that our members feel celebrated and honored every day and every May. So from all of us at Navy Federal, happy Military Appreciation Month. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
He's setting up the play at Penn Station East Coast Subs.
Can I get a 6-inch hot grilled Italian sub?
He shoots.
Should I grab a bag of chips?
Nope. All our subs come with fresh cut fries.
He scores!
Everybody wins at Penn Station East Coast Subs with hot grilled subs for pickup or delivery, fresh cut fries, 5 convenient triangle locations. You're set up for a great meal any day when you do it the Penn Station way. Check out the menu and order online today at penn-station.com.
Adam Gold inside Lenovo Center. This is the Lenovo Intermission Report, brought to you by Lenovo, official technology provider of the Carolina Hurricanes. 2-0 Carolina after 20 minutes. You couldn't have drawn it up any better. Carolina absolutely lived in the Florida end for the first 8 minutes. Sebastian Aho, in that span, steal at center ice, breaks in on Bobrovsky, and shoots it just under the elbow of the glove side, right? That's what Trip Tracy's talking about. Just under the elbow, 1-0 Carolina, roof off the building. Then it was a parade to the penalty box. Carolina, 2 dynamite kills. Rod Brindamore, none too pleased about either call. Either way, Carolina killed it, and like the sword of Gryffindor, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It made Carolina stronger. They got back to their game. They got their own power play, which was, I thought, for about half of it, really good. Then they tried to get a little too cute. Freddie Anderson has been really good, and then Sebastian Aho with Andrei Svechnikov and Aaron Ekblad in the box for matching minors. Aho beats Bobrovsky over the right pad, under the blocker, and it's 2-0 Carolina. Very noticeable. The fourth line setting the tone. Jankowski, Robinson, and Carrier have been impactful. We're going to take a break, and we're going to let you hear the Sebastian Aho show next.
To us, every moment matters. Moments of quiet perseverance and loud celebrations. Starting moments and the moments that make us feel unstoppable. We're here to help you be present for them all. UNC Health is dedicated to getting you back to what you love. Faster, stronger, and healthier. Official healthcare provider of the Carolina Hurricanes.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
Oh, highlights and a very happy highlights. On the Lenovo Intermission Report, 2-0 Carolina. Highlights are brought to you by Kia. By the way, my name is Adam. Let's check right here as about 4.5 minutes in, Sebastian Aho intercepts a pass at center ice.
Now a turnover. Here comes Aho on a break. Shoots, he scores! Carolina strikes first. It's 1-0. And the Canes off to an incredibly hot start.
I mean, it just capped off what was really incredible play for the first 5 minutes anyway. And then, late on in the period, after Carolina's killed off 2 power plays, Jordan Stahl in the slot.
But Carolina up with a loose puck. Stahl! He hits the post! Oh, he beat Bobrovsky. Jordan Stahl with a sneaky little shot that beat the netminder, but it was the metal that saved the day there for the Panthers.
He shot it quickly, like I mentioned, looking for in the power play.
And then, late on in the period, Aho coming down the right side, and he goes far side on Bob.
Carolina can clear. And it's dropped back here for Aho. He scores! He got the shot through. Bobrovsky couldn't stop it. And it's 2-0 Carolina. Oh, he put enough mustard on it. And it's 2-0.
Hot dog. Sorry, I apologize. Showed myself out. The Hurricanes put the biscuit in the basket on the power play tonight. You can get a free Bowberry biscuit at participating Bojangles tomorrow morning. Bojangles. It's bow time. Talk things over with Walt Ruff next.
Hey everyone, Adnan and Verk here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch the movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit, and the cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
What? New scratch-offs are out? That means new chances to become a North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club member.
Yeah, in the Winners Club, I'll reinvent myself. I won't go by just plain Todd. I'll go by Toddrick. I'll get a gold jacket, play my saxophone again. I'll stop and smell the flowers, call my mom more.
Oh, wrap it up, Todd.
It's Toddrick.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $100 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 3.35 to 4.58. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Adam Gold inside Lenovo Center, 2-0 Hurricanes. After one period, this is the Lenovo Intermission Report. Walt Ruff, Hurricanes.com, content maestro, wizard of the keyboards. That seemed like a good period, good start to the game for Carolina. Assess.
Always more enjoyable when you and I have goals to talk about, my friend. Sometimes that doesn't always happen. Canes were moving in sync there. I thought they were doing a pretty good job. I loved the early shifts, even before Sebastian Aho's first goal. I thought the air quotes fourth line's first shift of the night came with about 18:45 to go in the period. Just got to it. I thought that shift really allowed the team to get to their pressure game. There you go.
First thing I wrote down tonight.
There you go.
Jankowski's line, creating issues.
They did do a good job of that.
Awesome.
Because they got a chance, they pressured, they forced a turnover, got another chance. I mean, that's to a T the way that the Carolina Hurricanes want to play. And then some things fell in line after that. There you go.
I thought it was every shift for that line. Every single shift that they had on the ice. They were noticeable. Carey has been good. Robinson's been good. Jankowski has also been really good. All right, let's talk about Sebastian Aho. First of all, great anticipation. Steals the puck. I forget who from whom he stole the puck. Doesn't matter to me. He's wearing white. But then, you're not even going to make a move. Just shoot the puck.
Oh, the first goal. Yeah. Gustav Forsling.
Okay, my fault.
Miffed pass on his part there, right? I mean, we may as well, because it applies to everything, the turnovers that cost Carolina in games 1 through 3, we're finally seeing them balance out. Because it was the same thing on the second goal. Nico Mikkola didn't get a whole heck of a lot on that pass. No. Aho was there on the puck support. It's a give and take game. and the Canes are getting there so far.
When Aho scored the second goal, Andrei Svechnikov was in the box. He and Aaron Ekblad matching minors. Jackson Blake actually made a very good, hard play in the defensive zone to help the puck out. I'm wondering, why is Blake on the ice, realizing that Svech is in the box? And I thought that really was a key to that whole sequence.
Starts it all. You got to be good in transition, right? And then Seth Jarvis is the first guy on Mikola in front of the team bench. Obviously didn't get all that he wanted to, and Aho was already on the way there for puck support, and he gets rewarded for it.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a great goal for Bobrovsky to allow from distance, but hey, it's gone the other way at times. What else has stood out to you? I actually think that I can't think of anything I didn't like. Maybe one or two things, but we'll save those for later. What else jumped out to you about the period?
I just thought that that's the way that the Carolina Hurricanes have to play, right? I mean, it goes back to that shift we were just talking about a moment ago with Jankowski's line. It's all about the pressure game, and if you can't handle it, then you're going to wind up in trouble. And Florida has done a good job of handling it in this series thus far. They didn't do a great job of it in the opening 20 minutes, and that's why it's 2-0.
The two penalties. Rod was not happy about the first one. I don't know if you could tell. Looking at the
Poor
video,
Jackie Redmond.
He was not happy about. I didn't see the interview with Jackie Redmond. I could just see Rod. I could see the veins all the way up here from the fifth floor. But the penalty kill looks kind of vintage right now.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there was the one opportunity in front that looked like it was going to be a slam dunk goal for Florida, but Brent Burns and Jordan Stahl teaming up. I mean, we talk about active sticks all the time. That's example 1A right there. They did a tremendous job, because how different would this conversation be if it were a 1-1 game right now? And it certainly felt like, even though they only had 5 shots on goal, Florida had a couple chances to get theirs.
Yeah, after Carolina made it 1-0, Florida had like the next 2 or 3 really good chances, couple of good saves from Freddie Anderson, one on Brad Marchand between the circles where Anderson has to flash out the glove. I have to assume we're going to see a bunch of Florida penalties or power plays tonight. It certainly looked that way from the first period.
Yeah, you got to try and find a way to stay disciplined throughout, right? I mean, we've got all these scrums going on after the whistles now. We got Aaron Ekblad bare hand grabbing Andrei Svechnikov by the throat. That was an interesting one. You just got to find a way, especially when you've got a 2-goal lead, to keep it at 5-on-5.
Yes, 5-on-5. I don't know if 5-on-5 favors Carolina. These are two of the best teams at 5-on-5 all year. If you look at all of those advanced metrics, whether it's Corsi, I know people hate hearing that, shot attempts, Florida and Carolina 1-2, right? High danger, percentages for Florida, Carolina 1-2. The difference between these two teams has been Florida has capitalized, not only in this series, but over the course of the year, capitalizing on those situations more often than Carolina. You mentioned Burns. His stick on a pass across, which what could have been a tap-in goal, I think it's been a good period for him, been a good period for Dmitry Orlov.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, you can go up and down the board and highlight some positives from just about every guy thus far. And it brings me joy, because we're starting to have these different conversations now, as opposed to when it was a 3-0 series, right? It was starting to feel like it was.
Oh, I'm not there yet. Relax.
I'm there.
Relax.
I got
have
hope.
40 minutes
I got
of hockey.
hope.
I have hope too, but we have 40 minutes of hockey, Walt Ruff.
I got hope.
All right, Walt Ruff, Hurricanes.com content maestro. There's the cart, and there's the horse. We need the horse in front of the cart.
I am nothing if not an optimist.
We'll come back with a check of the numbers, because there are no other scores, after these words from your local stations on the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network.
Rev up your engines at Apex Racing Lab, the Triangle's largest sim racing destination with the best bar in Cary. Experience the ultimate thrill with 16 cutting-edge simulators, expert instructors, and world-class virtual tracks. Apex Racing Lab brings the adrenaline-pumping world of sim racing to life. It's the perfect place for your next birthday party or corporate event. Ready to race? Head to Apex Racing Lab in Cary's McGregor Village in Greater Raleigh and unleash your racing passion. Learn more at ApexRacingLab.com.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I am in studio with my friend Jeff Hoffman from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. So, front doors, that's the start of your house. You have a lot of options when it comes to doors.
Absolutely. Give us an opportunity to come out, hangout. We'll sit down with an iPad, actually develop the door for you. A couple different door styles or types to choose from, but then there's multiple styles that you can apply to that actual door. And of course, it's going to be installed by certified Provia installers.
800-672-4348, aluminumcompany.com.
With over 200 stores to shop, where can you find everything you're looking for all in one place? Crabtree, the go-to premier shopping and dining destination in the Southeast. Shop Allen Edmonds, Altered State, Banana Republic, Brahmin, Brooks Brothers, Chubby's, Coach, H&M, Lego, Lululemon, Michael Kors, Tag Heuer, Tommy Bahama, and so many more. Shop your favorites, discover something new, then relax and dine. All at one convenient destination. Crabtree.
Adam Gold back inside Lenovo Center on the Lenovo Intermission Report. Brought to you by Lenovo, official technology provider of the Carolina Hurricanes. By the way, the first period scoreboard, and we only have one score, this one, 2-0 Hurricanes. Brought to you by Cardinal Apparel, proud partner and t-shirt provider of the Carolina Hurricanes. You want to see who has been lively and bright in the period? You don't have to look any further than Carolina's Sebastian Aho. Has got 3 shot attempts, 2 shots on goal, both goals. The high danger chance would have been the breakaway after the steal. He has been outstanding, but really, I'm not sure anybody hasn't been really good in this period. The truth is, I thought the fourth line, Jankowski, Robinson, Carrier, had a lot to do with setting the tone for this game. Their shift early in the game was incredible, and I think the building got a lot of energy from it, and we'll see more of it, I hope, in this second period. Mike and Tripp will have the second period next.
Hockey is a game of speed, and the Triangle is one of the fastest growing regions in the country. At the center of the excitement are Lenovo and the Carolina Hurricanes, partnering to unveil the Lenovo Center. With one of its global headquarters in the Triangle, Lenovo is the perfect partner to launch a new era of technology and fun. Don't miss out. Come check out the Lenovo Center and cheer on the Canes.
Who wants to save up to $1 a gallon on gas with Harris Teeter fuel points? It's easy. Shop at Harris Teeter with your Vic card. Earn 1 fuel point for every $1 spent. Redeem your points for gas savings at Harris Teeter fuel centers in our partnering Amoco and BP gas stations. You can even check your fuel points in the Harris Teeter app. Get 4 times the fuel points when you shop on Fridays. Harris Teeter, in food with love.
Barbecue season is back. Hey, it's Ellen. And this is Sarah Beth. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that zesty barbecue sauce. I love that it was a little sweet, a little tangy, and with the mac and cheese,
I feel like I tasted the brown sugar bacon first. It was the absolute best combination. Pro tip, 3 sandwiches are always better than 1.
Order the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and a Coca-Cola on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
We get ready to start the second period alongside Tripp Tracy. I'm Mike Maniscalco here on our Hurricanes Radio Network. Technical tandem of John Brockwell here in the booth with us, Rusty Helzer back in master control, and a masterful first period from Carolina. Tripp to take a 2-0 lead.
No, he was on not just the receiving end of Carrier's hit on that questionable penalty, but Louis Durainen also received a hit from one of Carolina's defensemen. I'm trying to remember who. He is not on the bench right now. Mike, you cannot take a breath. You simply can't against the Stanley Cup champions. Can Carolina get back to, in this building, the second periods being when they take over hockey games? Florida was better in the second periods here in games 1 and 2.
Well, here we go with the second period underway. Florida wraps it around the boards. Slavin will clear it out, but back to get it is Mikkola. He'll play it free for Verhaeghe. He'll give it away to Slavin. Slavin trying to find Jarvis. Bouncing puck settled down. And Svechnikov for a little pot shot. And that goes just to the right of Bobrovsky. Needs to keep it in. Slavin with a drive. That's blocked out in front. Florida can't clear. Opportunity on the reload there by Svechnikov, and that'll be deflected over the glass into the netting.
You know, Jones just came up with really an outstanding block. But after you cause the turnover, I really think it's a good sign that Svechnikov is looking to just shoot the puck quickly. I thought that was a progression that he had in Game 4. And even though Jones comes up with that big block, I think that's a really good sign. By the way, Mike, Carolina won 55% of the draws in the first, but it felt like they won all the big ones.
Florida wins this draw, and Marchand tries to go around Nikishin. He does, but Orlov was there. Now loose puck. Jankowski coming the other way. He drags, he shoots, and Bobrovsky makes the save with a blocker.
That was a good back check from Florida on Robinson to really make the 2-on-1 a 2-on-2. Jankowski still a good chance out of it.
Now Nosek, he'll muscle his way past Nikishin. He'll drop it back. Ekblad, long drive from inside the blue line, and another save made by Anderson.
That got tipped by Marchand. That was a really good save. Marchand's been Florida. I almost said Boston. Marchand has been Florida's best player.
He was there forever, and in Florida here, Bennett, he is knocked off his course by Slavin. And then this pass will be deflected in by the captain, Stahl. Bobrovsky behind his net to play it. Up around the boards, Burns tries to bank it, but Florida will get to it. Rodriguez, he'll lose the handle at the Canes blue line. Burns will slap it out to center ice. Martinuk to Stankoven. He'll angle one in, and Bobrovsky had a little issue with it, and he'll cover it up there. So an offensive zone draw coming to Carolina with 18:20 left in the second. Here in game number 5, and a 2-0 Carolina Hurricanes lead.
I just looked, and Slavin played. Now, you had 2 kills where you mentioned he played the entire 2-minute sequences. He played 8:41 in the first period. So, that you continue with that, he's going to be approaching 27 minutes or just under. He played 28 the other night. The good sign is his game does not fall off. It seems to get better with more minutes, if that's possible.
With Jacob Slavin, I would believe anything that he does is possible. Now Gadjevich works one out in front as he traveled down the right wing boards. Carolina moving left to right here on your radio dial in this second period, or your iPhone, iPad, or whatever device you're consuming this playoff game on. Schmidt with it. Great game center ice for Florida. Sent into the Kane zone. Anderson around the boards for Hall. Hall up for Blake. He got a nice little one-touch there for Kotkaniemi. He wanted to go deep into the corner. Florida will bat this all the way back down. That'll be icing against the Panthers. 17:40 left here in the second period.
I just love Carolina systematically in this game so far. Morrow, on the clearing attempt that leads to this icing, he took away any tape-to-tape pass on the wall. He pinched in the Florida zone, so he makes it a hard play and not a tape-to-tape pass, and it gets misfired. All of a sudden, it's icing. Those are the little things Carolina is doing consistently.
Aho wins it back. Svechnikov, Slavin, Svechnikov inside the blue line, but that was detected by Bobrovsky, and he will absorb and get a whistle.
There was a stretch where Aho, he'd only play against Barkov in Florida when Paul Maurice had last change, and Barkov would have him for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And he just beat Barkov clean on the face-off. He's got 2 goals playing against Barkov. What an evolution in playing against the captain for the Finnish Four Nations team.
Carolina will lose the draw, but send it right back into the Florida zone. Jarvis looking for Svechnikov in the corner to the left of Bobrovsky. Barkov, and the Florida captain fighting for it. Aho will stick his nose in there, but it'll come free. And a chance for Barkov to clear, only as far as center. Burns will tip it up for Aho. He does a nice little shuffleboard pass to himself, but Reinhart is able to come up with a loose puck as it bounced into the corner. Reinhart will go from the near to the far boards with it. It will take a bounce from our vantage point, the near to the far boards. We're opposite the benches. Here comes Jarvis. Little one-on-one action, and Reinhart with an outstanding defensive play on Seth Jarvis to break up that chance.
Sure was, because what a play by Jarvis. He went off the boards at the scorekeeper, right where the scorekeeper is, to be able to beat Forsling. And he would have been alone had Reinhart not had that back check.
Now Martinuk trying to get it to Stankoven at the side of the net as the Canes on the attack. This will be kept in. Nikishin, he will wave that one through, and a lucky fan from Mount Airy has a souvenir.
Oh, that's a good sign right there, and Usually I have to have our producer, the great John Brockwell, research these towns for me. But when I drive to Pure, Michigan, and I hope I won't be till late June, Mount Airy, when I get beyond Winston-Salem, seems to be right before I hit Virginia.
You'd be correct.
So I do know Mount Airy. It's a 2-line stretch of that long drive. Some great huge Caniacs in Mount Airy.
Including Sheriff Andy Taylor and
you
Deputy
have to,
Barney Fife.
You know what? You have to make sure you don't speed on that 2-lane highway around Mount Airy.
Now a face-off in the Florida zone. Canes will win it back. Orlov. And that was knocked down by Bennett. And that took a little start shot of Sam Bennett. He'll stay on the ice. And this one will be offside as it popped over the Florida blue line and knocked back in. 16:09 left here in the second period.
Still the early stages of the second period, but the Hurricanes have not come off the gas at all. And, you know, because the forwards are creating offensive zone time, but then reloading, so Florida's not coming out of their end clean, the Hurricanes' defense is being able as a group to step up with some of these really tight gaps to go right back on the attack, and nothing for Florida in transition.
Now Florida will win the draw. Greer gives it away, though, and Robinson trying to feed this one, and he does. Carrier with a backhander that Bobrovsky uses the shoulder, and then he'll melt it down there. William Carrier in this line with Jankowski and Robinson, they have been outstanding here in the first 24 minutes of this one.
Carrier's points do not validate how close he's been offensively. That's the first thing. But the bite that he plays with, you know, Louis Durainen is not available right now. The sensational playoff season that he's had so far. You know, when you and I got on the plane on Monday night, I confirmed with Will Carrier. I said, well, it looked like you were trying to get him to go the whole second period. Going back to that hit in Game 3 on Jackson Blake that Louis Durainen had, he said, you bet I was, and he has been very noticeable here again tonight.
And to back up the point, Louis Durainen this postseason, 13 points, but 12 of them have come on the road. All four of his goals and 8 assists, so that's a big loss for Florida right now here with 15:57 left in the second period. Nosek will win the draw for Florida. And the Panthers will flip this back into the Cane zone. An excellent work by Rodriguez. That forces Anderson out of his net. Kulikov jumps in down the right wing board. The defenseman for Florida will carry it all the way around the rink. He'll stop at the left circle. His shot easily detected by Frederik Anderson, and he will hang on.
Freddie Anderson has made, I think if they give him credit for that, I think it's now 7 saves, some incredibly timely ones in the first period. Mike, you don't think of Freddie Anderson as being one of the top puck-handling goaltenders in the league, but he's had some really clean touches so far in this game as to where to go with the puck when he does play it. And now Carolina will go with a line change, and you know all the talk as it should be with the rookies on the back end is about Nikishin, but Morrow is starting to settle in.
Yeah. Started to see it a little bit in Game 3 and a little bit more in Game 4, so all good signs for Carolina, but Barkov will win this offensive zone draw for Florida. Side of the net. He shuttles a pass that goes through Anderson's crease, but nobody's there for Florida. Jarvis able to clear it. Barkov will come out to play it. Takes a funny hop off of the Canes net. Anderson plays it, though, and the Canes get it out to center. Aho avoids a hit there from Mikkola. And Florida will work it into the Cane zone. Jones' shot bounces off of Burns. And it'll be fanned on by Verhaeghe, and Carolina can clear. Jarvis will play it off the boards. He'll cut in front of Jones. Penalty coming up to Jones as he spins Jarvis into Bobrovsky.
Jarvis has really been noticeable using his speed here and his creativity in the second period. Seth Jones has obviously been a sensational acquisition for Florida coming over from the Chicago Blackhawks, but he doesn't have A-level foot speed.
Florida, number 3, minor penalty, holding.
And so Jarvis can catch him flat-footed. He's going to be able to get to the net, and he's going to get there first, and that forces Seth Jones to reach out with his free arm, his stick as well. You had a really good power play that didn't convert in the first period. I just want to see this one because it should be confident, shoot more pucks.
It will be the Aho group with Svechnikov, Jarvis, Blake, and Gostisbehere. They're 0 for 1, the Canes power play here tonight, but Gostisbehere does a good job pressing Marchand, and that'll be a turnover. Blake will come up with it behind the net. He'll center it, Gostisbehere. He'll play it off to the right wing boards for Aho, top of the right circle. Down low to Svechnikov, they'll play catch. Aho's pass deflected by Gostisbehere, he'll get it right back. It's Jarvis with it. He goes angle pass, Aho trying to find Blake, but that bounces. Svechnikov to the rebound. Jarvis, Gostisbehere, he'll keep it in right back to Jarvis. Backhand pass, Aho. Diagonal pass, left circle up top. Gostisbehere with a BB that just misses as Bobrovsky waved at it. Now Jarvis trying to play away from Marchand. He'll hand it off to Aho. He'll cut to the middle of the rink, just inside the blue line. Now Svechnikov between the rings. His shot, a riser, absorbed by Bobrovsky as he took that off of the crest, and he'll hang on for a face-off. 1:04 left on the power play.
That was outstanding. 56 seconds of power play work. You didn't win the face-off. Florida had a couple chances to clear the puck, and it was Gostisbehere that kept it alive. And the key play was, before Gostisbehere leaned into one, you called it a BB, and it was. Then Svechnikov, again, willing to shoot the puck like he has all night. But Aho, one-toucher, right play, high to low, had a 2-on-1 down low, Blake and Jarvis. Blake just couldn't settle the puck. That was the right play.
Now the Kotkaniemi group will come out. Florida trying to clear, can't do it. Kept in by Hall. Now hanging on to the puck, getting it to Burns. He rockets one off of the glass behind Bobrovsky, and it bounced off of the net. And Florida will get the fortunate bounce there to clear. That did not miss by much.
What a keep by Hall. I mean, barely by a millimeter, kept it in, and then right to Burns. Boy, this isn't everything but score power play.
Now Morrow, he'll feed it to Stankoven. It'll bounce. Kotkaniemi, Burns with another shot, and that'll be handled there by Bobrovsky. Blockers it away. Kotkaniemi, noticeable on this one. Stankoven now. He'll get it to Hall. He'll play it around Kulikov. Burns with a good keep in. Stankoven wanted to, has it swatted away, and it'll be Rodriguez chasing Kotkaniemi back into the Cane zone. 10 seconds left on the power play. Morrow, good pass across the rink. Picked up by Kotkaniemi. He draws a crowd. Morrow goes for a change. Out of the box comes Jones. Carolina 0 for 2. And we've got a whistle behind the play.
Both referees with their arms up.
Penalty coming to Carolina.
It's going to be Kotkaniemi, who had...
Carolina 82, minor penalty for holding.
Kotkaniemi prevented Rodriguez from having a shorthanded breakaway because he was on his toes. He's now going to be in the box, but that was a key play. Take us to break, and hopefully coming up your third kill of the night.
12:53 remaining here in the second period. Carolina leading 2-0 here in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Final. You're listening to the Stanley Cup Playoffs on the Hurricanes Radio Network.
Hey everyone, Adney and Verk here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch this movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit. The cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
To us, every moment matters. Moments of quiet perseverance and loud celebrations. Starting moments and the moments that make us feel unstoppable. We're here to help you be present for them all. UNC Health is dedicated to getting you back to what you love. Faster, stronger, and healthier. Official healthcare provider of the Carolina Hurricanes.
For almost a decade, the Hurricanes have trusted their t-shirt needs with Cardinal Apparel. Carolina Hurricanes alumni Shane Willis here to tell you Cardinal Apparel has expanded and relocated to better serve their clients across the state. Formerly known as Raleigh Screen Print, Cardinal Apparel will produce high-quality screen printing while working directly with customers. Don't waste your time online trying to order through third-party vendors. Save money and time working with Cardinal Apparel. Visit cardinalapparel.com to start your order today.
12:53 left here in the second period. Trip Tracy. Mike Maniscalco here on your Hurricanes Radio Network. 2-0. Carolina in the lead here in the second period in Game 5 in another must-win for the Hurricanes.
The entire commercial break, all 4 penalty killers were huddled together for Carolina. I think anticipating what adjustments the Florida power play is going to try to make. And that's smart because Florida's 2 power plays in the first did not have any really good opportunities. So anticipate the adjustments so you can try to be a step ahead.
Well, to put it bluntly, Tripp, 0 shots on goal for Florida on their first 2 power play attempts, both in the first period. But here's their third crack at it. Rodriguez, though, loses the draw to stall. Burns will get it to Martinook. Martinook run into by Barkov. And Florida can set up their power play. Ekblad. He goes across for Jones. Now it's Ekblad with it. His shot through and they'll score. On the power play, Tkachuk was in front. There was a deflection. And it's Matthew Tkachuk's goal. His 5th of the postseason, 2nd of this series, and Florida has crawled back into this one, now trailing 2-1.
Carolina won the draw, and Burns went across to the other side of the ice to Martinook. And Martinook, 99% of the time, would have cleared it. He couldn't settle the puck. Barkov did a terrific job getting down on Martinook and preventing the clear. Then eventually, Ekblad's able to cut to the middle up high, and Matthew Tkachuk was calling for it with his stick the entire time and redirects it home. For me, the key play, and there were several, but was Barkov preventing Martinook from clearing that puck.
Absolutely. Barkov showing you the complete player he is on that play. And we have to tell you that. And he is a fabulous player for Tkachuk. His 3rd power play goal this postseason.
This is where you don't change one iota how you've been playing.
Bennett will drop this one back in his zone. Jones will be squashed by Stahl along the corner, but able to get it out. Now a chance for the Panthers. Bennett out in front, they'll score! Sam Bennett directed it out in front. Evan Rodriguez, his first goal of the postseason with the redirect. And in a literal blink, we are tied at 2.
Been the story for Florida when they've scored all series. They've scored in bunches. In the last couple of minutes, not a ton, but they've transitioned the puck way better than they had prior. And Nikishin got caught stretching. He went to try to beat Tkachuk to a puck at the Carolina blue line. He didn't come up with it. Then he's caught. And Martinook tries to seal Tkachuk instead of coming back through the middle. And it's the puck movement from Bennett with his eyes up, just making sure to get it by Orlov to Rodriguez. Rodriguez beats Freddie between the legs.
2 goals in 30 seconds. And the Panthers have tied this at 2. And now Carolina got to get back to their game they had in the first period. Forsling will hammer this one down the ice. That'll be icing against the Panthers with 11:48 remaining here in the second period.
You just have to get back on the horse. I mean, I'd love to, we're on radio, so we have no power like we would on TV of the replays. I would love to get another look at the Kotkaniemi penalty. And to Florida's credit, after Martinook not clearing, they score. Power plays 3-2 for the Panthers right now. This is where you have to have self-belief and get back to how you played for the vast majority of the night.
As the offensive zone draw is chipped back into the Kane zone, Verhaeghe putting pressure on Slavin. Kept in at the point by Forsling, his bouncing shot wide of the net. Verhaeghe, he'll reverse it from the right wing boards behind the net, looking for Barkov. Aho, though, will play it free. And a chance for Carolina to escape. Svechnikov, he'll put it off the blade of Aho. Aho directs it in, chases after it. Svechnikov tries to hit Barkov, not much there on it, and Florida works it back in. Gadjevich reaches for Gostisbehere, but not all the way there. Good play by Morrow, up for Robinson. And out comes this line that's had good looks tonight. Carrier trying to center it for Jankowski. That goes off of a leg. And Nosek will run this back into the Kane zone, and this will be icing on Florida with 10:53 left here in the second. And Rod Brindamore is going to Throw the Kotkaniemi line back out there.
Especially the power play earlier in this period at 2-0 for Carolina. You did everything but score. But, you'd be remiss. You got to move forward now. Starting this game all over at 2-2. But what an opportunity that was. And you came so close from both units. Had to mention that before you move on to this next shift.
I got to mention this stat. Florida 7-2 on the road this postseason trip. They've outscored their opponents 43-18 on the road. Now it's 45-20. That's almost unheard of in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So Carolina had bounced out to a 2-0 lead in the first period. Florida has erased it here in the second. Another icing on the Panthers. So their 5 will stay on the ice with 10:35 left here in the second period. 2-2 game.
Yeah, Florida is going to, you just mentioned their statistics on the road. They're going to settle into a game where they're going to wait for Carolina to make a mistake. And Carolina, this is where they just have to recognize, okay, you had a chance to go up 3-0 and deliver a dagger. It's 2-2. You have played outstanding hockey for the vast majority of the night. Get back to it.
Canes trying to come up with a big offensive zone draw, but it'll be shoot away by Gadjevich. Chopped at as they'll be offside.
It's close to too many men for Florida.
That would be the second time tonight they've come close to that trip.
Very close. But just offside on the play. This is, I'll tell you, as much as I have, for all the right reasons and all the deserving reasons, praised Nikishin, and Orlov's talking to him right now. He's got to settle himself down here. Less is more. Because I think he's looked young at a couple of times in this game. And I love that Orlov was just speaking to him, I'm sure, trying to get his headspace correct.
As the puck finds Nikishin, he goes right across to Orlov. Up for Robinson, deflected into the Florida zone. Jankowski can finish off Ekblad. He does. Loose puck, side of the net. That'll be given away by Lundell. Canes will keep it in. Orlov with a drive. Blocked out in front. Florida can clear.
Nice block from Lundell.
Again, he is one of those players. You don't talk a lot about Anton Lundell and the success of the Florida Panthers nationally, but they'll tell you he has become a big piece of what they do. Verhaeghe will throw this one into the King zone. Quickly worked up. Martinuk. He'll hand it to Stankoven. Stankoven had some room. Orlov was going for a change. Stankoven gets his own pass. And Martinuk given a hard shove by Jones. And they're going to say a hand pass as Martinuk played it to Stahl. So the puck will come out of the Florida end. 9:35 remaining here in this second period. Florida with 2 goals in the second frame has tied this game at 2 apiece. You're listening to Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Final. Stanley Cup playoffs here on the Hurricanes Radio Network.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
What? New scratch-offs are out? That means new chances to become a North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club member.
Yeah, in the Winners Club, I'll reinvent myself. I won't go by just plain Todd. I'll go by Toddrick. I'll get a gold jacket, play my saxophone again. I'll stop and smell the flowers, call my mom more.
Oh, wrap it up, Todd.
It's Toddrick.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $100 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 3.35 to 4.58. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
9:35 left here in the second period of game number 5 at Lenovo Center. Along with Chip Tracy, Mike Maniscalco here on your Hurricanes Radio Network.
Florida's come with 2 goals in 30 seconds in this period, Trip, to tie this game at 2. If you're Carolina, now that we're past the halfway point of the game, what do you do to get back to that first period?
Well, you're playing the stall line here out of the commercial break. The Aho line has been terrific, but this is where, the veterans that Jordan Stahl and Jordan Martinick are, and Stan Koven has had another really good game. He's not on the score sheet. The awareness of getting back on that forecheck like they've had for the majority of the night.
As Slavin works this puck into the Florida zone, behind the net it goes. Too far for Stankoven. And this will be cleared out by Rodriguez, who has the game-tying goal in this one. His first goal of the postseason, to go along with the 10 assists that he had coming into this game. As this puck is chipped in front of the Canes bench. A little roughhousing action in front of the Canes bench on Martinook. Nothing called there, and Florida will get this to Tkachuk. He'll bank it off the glass into the trapezoid. It goes for Mr. Anderson, and he'll play it to Slavin for Burns. And they'll locate Stankoven. Mikkola gaps up on him. Barkov will push this into the zone, and Mikkola chases after it. On the left wing corner, he'll go off of the end boards around for Jones. Chip back around. Mikkola will send it from low to high. Hanging on to it, putting it on the tape. Barkov with a shot that looked like it was steered off course.
I think Svechnikov got a piece of his tape on his blade right as Barkov was shooting that puck. That's why it didn't come off clean. Would have been a great A.
The Canes clear, but Florida right back to work. Reinhart behind the net. Slavin gets to it, though. He'll chip it free. Aho chasing after it, but it will be icing. As Schmidt beat Aho to the puck with 8:05 remaining here in the second period.
Well, you can see some nerves now. And you know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about Game 6 to try to stay alive against the Rangers. You got off to a great start. That all fell apart in the third period with Chris Kreider's natural hat trick. You have a lot of new faces, but you got a lot of the same guys. You got the same goaltender. It's this simple. You got to dig in and worry about the present moment and feel good, like I've said a few times, about the way you've played tonight. Right now, there's a Florida push, so you can just focus on doing less better.
It literally is shift to shift as Marchand throws it out in front, and Lundell will score. Off of the face-off, Marchand got to the loose puck, directs it out in front, and Anton Lundell pokes it over Frederik Andersen's shoulder, and it's a 3-2 Panther lead.
Well, when Florida was trying to find their game, Brad Marchand in the first period was without question their best player. Boy, did he dive in way inside the face-off circle before the puck was dropped. That's wild. He was way inside the face-off circle. Robinson tries to get to him. He can't. Marchand tight turns and throws it through the crease, and Lundell beats Aho to the front of the net in a beautiful redirection.
Now a penalty coming up to Florida for interference off of the draw at center ice. So Carolina will get a chance to answer here, Trip, with 7:54 left in the
Florida
second.
penalty number 7, 2 for interference.
Yeah, it's Kulikov. The announcement from Kelly Sutherland goes without saying. Your 2 power plays when you were leading the game were pretty close to everything but the result. Now you're really, with the way this second period has gone and you're trailing, you need a result. You've done all the right things. Now you got to get it over the finish line. I like that they shot more pucks on their second power play earlier in the period.
As the faceoffs won, Svechnikov got it back. Now Gostisbehere. He'll wing one deflected, and that goes high over the net of Bobrovsky. Blake plays it around the boards. Nobody home for Carolina. Gustav Forsling is able to clear this one back into the Hurricanes' end. And Carolina will need to find a way into the Florida zone here. 7:30 left in the second. 3-2. Florida has taken the lead here in this period. Now Blake driven into the corner. Puck behind the net. Aho. He plays it away from Lundell. He'll get that to Svechnikov. He'll let it go to the left point. Gostisbehere off the end boards. Aho behind the net. He plays it to Jarvis at the right point. His backhand pass is intercepted by Anton Lundell. And he'll clear this one back into the Cane zone.
Think about Florida's power play goal. The simplicity. They've had several. Get to the middle, float pucks to the net with a net front looking for a redirection. Think about that simplicity.
Now Blake will direct this one into the corner. Clearing chance. That goes off of Blake, but it bounces to Jones. And Carolina will change up their power play unit with 45 seconds left here on the man advantage with Kulikov in the box for interference. Now Stankoven with it. He hands it across. Darting behind the net. Hanging on to it. Trying to make a play is Taylor Hall. He'll get it to Morrow. Right point. Left point across for Burns. Burns with it now. Top of the circle. Stankoven. Back for Burns. Burns shot through traffic. Bobrovsky bodied it down and then covered it up with 20 seconds to go. A little bit more what you were looking for. A little simplistic shot with net front.
Well, Hall was, he was competing hard to get a tip on that Burns shot. He was battled pretty hard in front of Bobrovsky. Hall had been the key piece to the power play entry. And Mikkola shifted down at the last second as Burns was shooting that puck and went underneath the stick of Taylor Hall. And Mikkola back in the lineup. He was a big miss in Game 4. Those are the plays, and he's made a bunch. Big addition back in the lineup.
Stankoven wins the draw, pushes it to the corner, but Florida able to wrap this one all the way around the rink and back down into the Cane zone. One last rush here with 5 seconds left in the man advantage. Burns will dump it in. Kotkaniemi will get to it. He'll play it away from Verhaeghe. Out of the box comes Kulikov. Stankoven trying to center it. Stankoven tries to play it from Kulikov. He'll get it up for Bennett. Bennett has it knocked down by Burns. This is going to be icing as Burns is on the other side of center ice with 5:40 remaining in the second in a 3-2 Florida lead.
Extending to the power play, I think now you're fighting it. Okay, so I think you have to bear that in mind. You know, even if Mike, with just under 6 to play, a commercial break coming up, even if you're trailing going into the third period, I believe that the headspace has got to be no worse than 1 goal. Anything beyond that is a bonus because right now it looks like a fragile group.
Face off to the right of Frederik Andersen. It'll bounce its way to Verhaeghe. He'll go behind the net. Watch there by Slavin. He'll get it to Tkachuk. Tkachuk sealed off by Kotkaniemi, and Carolina can clear. Bouncing puck. Stankoven is going to play it around Schmidt. And Schmidt waved at it twice. As Kotkaniemi wants to make a piece of it. Now giveaway by Tkachuk. Carrier shot it, but it was right off the skates of Tkachuk, and Verhaeghe will get to the loose puck and bounce it into the Cane zone. Now Bennett wings one out in front. Anderson makes the save as Bennett put it out front. Verhaeghe with some net front, and Verhaeghe was tossed to the ice, and we get a whistle with 5:06 left here in the second period.
There has been a skill dimension, but there has been a simplicity to Florida's game on plays like that you'd like to see shift when we come out of this commercial break back to Carolina.
5:06 remaining here in the second period of Game 5. Florida has stormed out with 3 goals here in the second to take a 3-2 lead over the Carolina Hurricanes. You're listening to the Stanley Cup playoffs on the Hurricanes Radio Network.
Who wants to save up to $1 a gallon on gas with Harris Teeter fuel points? It's easy. Shop at Harris Teeter with your Vic card. Earn 1 fuel point for every $1 spent. Redeem your points for gas savings at Harris Teeter fuel centers in our partnering Amoco and BP gas stations. You can even check your fuel points in the Harris Teeter app. Get 4 times the fuel points when you shop on Fridays. Harris Teeter, in food with love.
Barbecue season is back. Hey, it's Ellen. And this is Sarah Beth. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that zesty barbecue sauce. I love that it was a little sweet, a little tangy, and with the mac and cheese,
I feel like I tasted the brown sugar bacon first. It was the absolute best combination. Pro tip, 3 sandwiches are always better than 1.
Order the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and a Coca-Cola on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
We all love cheering on the Hurricanes, and our Triangle neighbor Lenovo is giving us something else to cheer about. The global technology giant is going all in to enhance the fan experience at the Lenovo Center and support the transformative entertainment district, making it a one-stop shop for all things fun in the Triangle. Hockey, entertainment, food, and more. Check it out at the newly named Lenovo Center and Entertainment District, where celebration starts in the Triangle. See you there.
5:06 left here in the second period. The Panthers scored 2 goals in 30 seconds and then took the lead about 4 minutes later with 3 goals here in this second period, leading the Canes 3-2. He's Trip Tracy. I'm Mike Maniscalco. You're listening to the Stanley Cup playoffs here on the Hurricanes Radio Network.
This is a D-zone draw, not an offensive zone draw, but at 0-0 was the Jankowski line that is on the ice now that was in the first period that really triggered that great first period. See if they can get him back on track here with this shift.
Ekblad fails to keep it in at the right point. So Florida has to tag up. Orlov behind his net. 4:50 remaining here in the second period. And as this group looking to break out. Orlov watched by Gadjevich. Up along the boards, it was intercepted and rolled back in on Anderson. There's Lundell now trying to play it out for Marchand. Florida down and forward. Eetu Luosterainen did not come out to play the second period. No worse for wear have the Panthers been down a man. Now Nikishin will settle it down behind his net. 4:20 left here in the second. He'll hand it to Orlov. Orlov gains center ice. He works it in for Svechnikov. Svechnikov pulls his way out in front. Save made by Bobrovsky. Now Svechnikov back for Burns out in front. Oh, Bobrovsky didn't know where it was. He looked behind him. It was in his equipment. And he'll get a whistle.
Good shift from Svechnikov. Shot from a sharp angle, then retrieved the puck, went low to high. Nikishin looked more like himself there on that offering. Nikishin gets it through quickly. I'm sorry, he had made a change, and it was Burns. Yeah. And Burns has had his ready shoot all night. Robinson's right there. You have not been able to get those redirections. The tips have gone Florida's way, including Tkachuk's power play goal that gave him life.
It's the Aho line here. Getting to the puck is Jarvis, but Mikkola fenced it away from him. Burns throws it back in. Carolina, though, had to tag up. And that will give Jones some room behind his net to make a play. He'll go hard off the boards and out. Barkov to it. He'll hand this one. A drive there by Verhaeghe. Goes off of a leg. Barkov will get to it. In a pirouette, his pass will find Verhaeghe at the top of the right circle. That goes just wide of the net of Anderson. Reinhart coming back from that lower body situation. Plays it back for Verhaeghe. He'll get it to Barkov. Tries the short side. Kicked away by Anderson. Kept in at the left point by Nate Schmidt. He'll feed it deep, but Slavin is there. Carolina can't clear. Kept in by Reinhart. He'll work it for Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe finds Tkachuk, who comes in off of the bench with a long change. Tkachuk bounces one. Aho's stick is broken. Barkov will get to it. Back for Kulikov. Barkov will make a change. Kulikov out in front. Blocked away by Burns. But Bennett hanging onto it. Bennett chopped at by Burns. Stepped into cleanly by Slavin. Slavin using his hand to get it to Jarvis, who clears. Can Carolina, they can get Aho off the ice. And then Florida's offside. As Tkachuk wants to know why, and it was because he got in before the puck did.
That shift could have been the series and Carolina's hopes on the line. Once Aho breaks his stick, it's really a power play. There's one situation where he would have gotten a puck out at the Florida blue line, but he couldn't because he had no stick. He was really a winger. Oftentimes he's the low centerman, obviously, but especially without a stick, he needed to be a winger because you're certainly relied upon, but not as much. And Slavin got really physical on Bennett. I think he recognized just how important that shift was.
The Canes get 5 fresh on the ice after Florida was offside. And now a penalty coming up to the Panthers, as diving in and taking down a Hurricane was Evan Rodriguez.
Florida 17, minor penalty holding.
That's an offensive zone penalty. This is where your power play has to score. Like I said, with a couple of those beyond gutsy kills in the first period. The second one, I feel like, if they killed that off, which they did, their chances of winning go way up. Rodriguez, just above the goal line, puts his arm around the neck of Orlov. One of the goal scorers. You've got all the life going if you're Rodriguez and the Panthers, and he's part of it. Your power play in your fourth try has not converted. If you're going to win this hockey game, I think you need one here.
Well, you've had some looks, but now you got to have finish. Aho, back to Gostisbehere. Gostisbehere, his shot off of Ekblad. Backhand chance was knocked wide as Aho got to it. Didn't get it all the way through. There's a good start for Carolina on the man advantage. Aho, he'll get it to Blake. Now across for Jarvis. Was thinking a slap pass and then got caught in between, and that's going to allow Forsling to clear this puck all the way down in the Canes zone.
Ekblad's had a heck of a series. He's the guy, I think, his back was to the shot. Got a piece with his leg.
Well, the Canes fans coming to life as this puck back into the Florida zone. Gostisbehere across for Blake. He'll get it right back. Now he'll set up Aho with a low drive. And that is going to be kicked away by Bobrovsky.
There was the tip you were looking for. Heck of a low save. I think Jarvis got the tip in close range.
90 seconds left in the period. 1:05 left in the power play for Carolina as they'll switch up personnel. Hall has it knocked away by Reinhart. Reinhart stepped into by Gostisbehere. And Florida will be offside as Reinhart spun it in and then spun it out with 53 seconds left in this power play for Carolina, and that might actually be a good thing.
I think the whistle is a good thing. I would say the looks from the A group were decent. Aho had the best chance. He might have got on the backhand on a rebound opportunity. And then Jarvis had the tip from tight range. Bobrovsky has been much sharper on tips than Anderson in this series.
As Carolina will win the draw. So now they'll look to get into the Florida zone. Hall, he'll gain center ice. Sent around. And a chance here for Jankowski. Carolina gets to it. They want to play it back to the point they do for Burns. Sent down low for Kotkaniemi. Kotkaniemi trying to step out in front. Bobrovsky uses the stick to knock it away, but Stankoven comes up with it. He'll get it to Burns. Back to Stankoven. Now it'll be Jankowski. Burns with traffic in front, but Bobrovsky will use the catching glove and will snag that and hang on with 21 seconds left here on this Canes power play, their fourth of the night.
Really good, quick seam pass across the ice from Stankoven, and it creates that eventual chance from Burns. But something I don't like that Carolina's doing. They've got a net front, and then when the shot's taken, Kotkaniemi in this case, they drift off to the side. That would be fine if a goaltender is giving up rebounds. But stay in front of him. You know, you might get a bounce off your body. If nothing else, maintain that eclipse. I do not like these as a goaltender. You love it when guys spin off at the last second, and you just have to worry about a tip, and you can see it all the way in.
5 seconds left on the power play. And this will be given away by Kotkaniemi to Bennett. Bennett races in. Bennett takes down Kotkaniemi, but no call provided. And out of the box comes Rodriguez, and Carolina has 18 seconds left. But the puck, Hall with a shot, and Bobrovsky makes the save and kicked it to the corner. That was more difficult than it looked. Now Burns trying to get it to Slavin. He does. Up for Kotkaniemi. He'll get it to Stahl. Stahl with a shot that just misses the far post. Orlov comes in to make a play, but the horn goes. And the second period belongs to the Florida Panthers.
You know, I said with just under 6 minutes left, the way that it was going, and Carolina looked fragile, you know, after Florida got their first lead of the night, that as long as you kept it a one-goal game, obviously you get your fourth power play of the night, and that changed the approach to the final 2.5 minutes. Carolina's first two power plays were good without the result. The second two were not as good as they needed to be. So the reality is you have a reset here, and you've got to find a way to give yourselves a chance by getting back to utilizing an intermission to the brand of hockey you played in the first period.
Coming up, the second intermission report with Adam Gold, as the Canes will be down a goal with their season on the line here in game number 5 of this Eastern Conference Final. The Panthers with a 3-2 lead after 40. Our intermission report coming up next here on the Hurricanes Radio Network.
Navy Federal Credit Union celebrates Military Appreciation Month in May. Whether you're active duty, a veteran, or a military family, we are all united this month to celebrate those who go above and beyond. As a credit union created for the military community, Navy Federal takes special care to ensure that our members feel celebrated and honored every day and every May. So from all of us at Navy Federal, happy Military Appreciation Month. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Make your next tailgate more electric when you plug into a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Not only do they light up the scoreboard with outstanding payload and towing numbers, with available Pro Power on board, you can turn these Ford trucks into mobile generators to give your tailgate party an extra boost of energy. Visit your Carolina Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com for great offers and to learn more about F-150 and Super Duty. The owner's manual for important operating instructions.
Enjoying the game? Hempy's can help. Hempy's is North Carolina's favorite hemp and CBD shop, and as long as you order before 9 p.m., local same-day delivery is absolutely free. Hempy's products are made with clean, natural ingredients, and each product is lab-tested to ensure quality and safety. Visit hempys.co to check out the inventory. And remember, orders placed before 9 p.m. get free same-day delivery. Or you can always stop by one of their 8 locations in North Carolina. Must be 21 or older to order. That's hempys.co.
Adam Gold inside Lenovo Center on the Lenovo Intermission Report, brought to you by Lenovo, official technology provider of the Carolina Hurricanes. And boy, one period, a lot changed. 3-2 Florida, 20 minutes left in potentially Carolina's season. They're going to have to turn this one around. Things look pretty good. Middle of the period, maybe not quite all the way to the middle of it, but into the middle part of the period. Carolina looking good, just came off a power play, or about to come off a power play that, while it didn't score, had some looks, and then Jesperi Kotkaniemi commits a penalty, a hold in the offensive zone, well away from the puck. Florida goes on the man advantage. Carolina had an opportunity to get the puck out of the zone, didn't. Aaron Ekblad fires from distance, wide of the net, and Matthew Tkachuk redirects it past Anderson. It's 2-1. Momentum shift, next shift, bump-up shift, Stahl line out. Jordan Stahl on a physical play behind the net. Carolina is a little bit out of position. Jordan Martinook goes to help Alexander Nikishin, and then the rookie loses the race to the front of the net with Evan Rodriguez. He directs it past Anderson. In 30 seconds, Carolina went from 2-0 up to 2-2 on the scoreboard. Then Carolina really struggling in their own end. The Aho line on, a face-off won by Florida. Anton Lundell beats Aho to the front of the net. Aho's got 2 goals on the scoreboard, but he's got to get goal side of Lundell. He gives Brad Marchand a target, and it's past Anderson, and suddenly it's 3-2 Carolina, and they're looking for a power play goal. Just had a power play at the end of the period. It was okay, not really, and they've outshot Florida 19-12, but they trail 3-2 on the scoreboard. We'll come back and listen to highlights next.
For almost a decade, the Hurricanes have trusted their T-shirt needs with Cardinal Apparel. Carolina Hurricanes alumni Shane Willis here to tell you Cardinal Apparel has expanded and relocated to better serve their clients across the state. Formerly known as Raleigh Screen Print, Cardinal Apparel will produce high-quality screen printing while working.
Oh, look at this. And we got Jose and Tom here, too. Thank you for hanging out with us this afternoon for our Playoff Pulse campaign. This evening, whatever time it is where you're watching from. We appreciate you being here. Now's the time of the show. Please check the link that's pinned in the chat, as well as in the description. That's going to take you to our homepage at SickKids Hospital in Toronto, where you can add your donation to our Playoff Pulse campaign or share that link out and politely ask people to help you raise money for SickKids Hospital with Toronto Sports Insider and TSI Tom. You got anything to say there before you go to school, Tom?
Well, like and subscribe.
Yeah. Thank you for being here. We'll see you back in the chat. Thank you for making a difference with SickKids Hospital in Toronto. Every single one of you. Much appreciated.
Cheers, insiders and sports fans from around the world.
The Playoff Pulse campaign on Toronto Sports Insider is uniting fans worldwide through the thrill of NHL and NBA playoffs. Every game, every fan, every moment counts.
To every child and family who've needed us since 1875, and all who support us, our hospital needs no introduction. But just in case, it's SickKids. And it's our 150th birthday. Our mission has always been healthier children, a better world. The first children's hospital in Canada, SickKids. Pasteurizing milk to prevent disease 30 years before it was mandatory. The heart-lung machine that transformed open heart surgery. A pediatric kidney transplant in 1969. SickKids. SickKids. And SickKids. We discovered the gene for cystic fibrosis so patients live longer lives. And we just created the world's first Atlas of Cancer using machine learning to analyze 13,000 variations. Today, the hospital sees over 130,000 patients a year. We're a research powerhouse, a training magnet, attracting nearly 600 clinical and research fellows from around the globe every year. And we're the #1 publicly funded children's hospital in the world. We're celebrating 150 years of excellence, driven by philanthropy. What's next? Thanks to donors like you, we're going to keep healing Canada and the world, and we're going to heal the future.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
I want to thank you.
Thank you for supporting the Kids Cut.
Thank you for helping us save kids' lives.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being... Thank you.
Adam Gold inside Lenovo Center, 3-2 Panthers. After 2 periods, Trip Tracy, you know him, you love him. Sir, what changed in the second period from the first?
The period started out as an extension of the first. It was great. And then you had your second power play of the night of the 4 you've had, and that was, for me, without question, the best power play from both groups. I mean, you had one situation where Aho tried to go right play, up high, down, creating a 2-on-1, stretching the floor to penalty killers. Would have been an A-plus opportunity. Blake couldn't settle the puck. Burns, I mean, it looked like he just missed. This is all a 2-0. And, you know, if you score even against the Florida Panthers to go 3-0 there, you're thinking, is this a dagger the way you were playing? So you don't come out of anything with it. And then the power play goal from Tkachuk that gave him life in redirections, tips. The Panthers have had a decided edge in that department. You know, whether you want to compliment the tippers or say that Bobrovsky's been much better on tips than Anderson. But that key piece was you won the face-off, and Martin comes down to be, you know, a D-to-D option, I believe, for Burns.
Yeah.
And he can't settle the puck, and Barkov keeps it in. Ekblad gets to the middle. You get the tip from Tkachuk. On the second one, you know, you're really not in a bad spot during that stretch pass. And Nikishin, he's played great, but he's young. He was caught in no man's land. He probably could have gone up and got to that puck along the Florida bench before it even got to Tkachuk. And then once that doesn't happen, he could have gotten more physical on Tkachuk. And then Martinuk, instead of filling the middle, goes and tries to seal on the outside. So that's a combination of things that that's just not right systematically. Young for Nikishin. And then the go-ahead goal, what I'm thinking about right now is with Eetu Luosterainen, who's been so good, not available. You've got Lundell out there, and so Aho, a different matchup than he's had against Barkov.
Yep.
Florida wins the draw. You've got a set face-off play. Robinson isn't able to dive in like Marchand, and then he can't get to Marchand. Marchand, I thought, was Florida's best player in the first period when they were being outplayed, and Lundell with a beautiful redirection. There was a simplicity to Paul Maurice's team's game in that period. He did mention after Game 4 that he thought they passed up shooting opportunities. So when I look at those 3 goals, that it's really the power play goal that gave him life and Barkov keeping that puck in. That's the big moment for me. And I didn't mind at all Carolina's first 2 power plays. The 2 power plays they had, their third and fourth, especially the one to tie the game late in that second period, I did not like much at all.
No, the late power play was no good. Is it unfair to be critical of Jesperi Kotkaniemi for taking that penalty at the very end of Carolina's power play, which led to the Tkachuk goal?
Yeah, I mean, and that's where the penalty that Rodriguez took there late in the period, near the goal line in the offensive zone, you needed to make Florida pay for that.
Right.
And you just had a great power play. Kotkaniemi had actually, on his toes, denied a breakaway from Rodriguez 10-15 seconds earlier.
Yep.
And you're still 2-0. You had a chance to deliver a dagger, and you just can't risk taking a penalty, let alone in the offensive zone at all costs.
All right, how do we turn it around? Rod's probably not saying anything with 20 minutes left potentially in their season.
Well, there's some inspirational words, but it's we've got to get back to playing like we did in the first period when they were A+.
Yeah.
And if you do that, you give yourselves a chance. Now Florida will sit back, but what I'm thinking about, and I started thinking about it at 2-0 when you weren't able to extend the lead to 3-0 because it's fresh in my mind from Anderson out. The opportunity to extend the series Game 6 against the New York Rangers when you had control of that Game 2. That fell apart in the third period. There was a goal that the Rangers scored late in the second period that I thought was a factor. But the reality is this is mental toughness.
Mm-hmm.
This is mental toughness to be able to leave that period in the rearview mirror and recognize just a short time ago and early in the second, you played 25 minutes of really dominating hockey. So you have to have the self-belief, putting the past in the past, to give yourselves a chance to get back to that.
I know it was on the road, but last year in Game 5, Carolina trailed going into the third period at Madison Square Garden and came out, played a great period, and brought the game back here for Game 6. Does that in any way, can that in any way impact what we're going to see in the third?
There was a different path to get there, but, because Carolina had played well throughout. I thought Carolina, after Florida crawled back in, they looked rattled.
Yeah.
But the intermission can reset that. Who's the guy that set the tone with that big first goal against Shesterkin in that third period? Jordan Stahl. Hit a post earlier in the game. What kind of period is he going to have? Is Aho going to get back to being the best player on the ice that he was in the first period? It's all going to unfold upon us.
Trip Tracy, he'll be with Mike Maniscalco after, not right away, but very soon. And we'll come back with a scoreboard after these words from your local stations on the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network.
What if, instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you could choose one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon, with big bank reliability and small bank resolve. You get 160 years of financial strength and stability and an enduring commitment to personal service. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank. Visit firsthorizon.com/getitall.
Discover the thrill of precision and elegance with Omega at Bailey's Fine Jewelry. From the depths of the ocean to the heights of space, Omega's Seamaster and Speedmaster collections are crafted for those who dare to explore. With a heritage rooted in innovation and a timeless style inspired by sports, space, and cinematic legends, Omega is the gift for every adventurer. Find your perfect watch at Bailey's Fine Jewelry in Raleigh's Village District. Voted Best Jeweler. Learn more at BaileyBox.com.
3-2 Florida on the Lenovo Intermission Report, and Lenovo also brings us a second period scoreboard. They are the official technology provider of the Carolina Hurricanes. Aho and Aho in the first period, 4:39 and 18:54. Carolina had a 2-0 lead, and then 3 goals in a 4:36 span, middle of the period. Matthew Tkachuk on the power play, a redirect. Evan Rodriguez in transition, 3-on-2, tip in out in front, and then Anton Lundell off a faceoff play, who redirects it over top of Anderson, and it's 3-2. 20 minutes left in Carolina's season. Brent Burns leads Carolina with 6 shots on goal, 8 attempts. Sebastian Aho has 2 shots on goal, 2 attempts, and 2 goals. We're going to have the best line, Aho, Svechnikov, and Jarvis. They're going to have a big impact in this period. And also, certainly don't hate what I've seen from Jankowski, Robinson, and Carrier. If anything is just, they'll be on the score sheet as well if Carolina can draw even and maybe win it. I'll see you after the game. Mike and Tripp have the call of the third period next.
What? New scratch-offs are out? That means new chances to become a North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club member.
Yeah, in the Winners Club, I'll reinvent myself. I won't go by just plain Todd. I'll go by Toddrick. I'll get a gold jacket, play my saxophone again. I'll stop and smell the flowers, call my mom more.
Oh, wrap it up, Todd.
It's Toddrick.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $100 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 3.35 to 4.58. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hey everyone, Adnan and Verk here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch the movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit, and the cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Canes fans, something big is happening this season. Our favorite hometown technology giant, Lenovo, is celebrating 20 years in the Triangle, and we're all getting in on the fun. Grab your jersey and meet us at the Lenovo Center, the new name of the home arena of the Carolina Hurricanes. The Lenovo Center is just a slap shot away from Lenovo's headquarters in the Triangle. Come celebrate and cheer on the Canes this season at the Lenovo Center. We get ready to start the third period. Carolina trailing Florida 3-2 here in game number 5. The Hurricanes trail the series 3-1. They need to win this period to keep their season alive. Alongside Tripp Tracy, I'm Mike Maniscalco. All right, Tripp, what do we need to see here from Carolina to even this one?
Well, you'd love a carbon copy of the first period, and I'd take my chances and run for the hills. You know, let's just look at the third period when Carolina was leading Monday night, the most recent third. Florida, I thought, started to take chances, like teams do when they're chasing, when they're trailing. You've got to recognize that 20 minutes is a long, long time when you're down 1 shot to tie the game. So you don't need to take chances. Play the way you did in the first.
As this period's underway, Florida will work it into the Cane zone. Slavin will pop this out, but it's coming back as this will be icing on Carolina. 16 seconds off of the clock here already in the third.
And what do I mean by taking chances? You don't need to feel like you've got to tie the game on one high-risk play. You know, you can think that you've got to make especially more plays at the offensive blue line. Transition might get you back, but a sustained forecheck gives you a real good chance of getting back by how you manage the puck.
Well, Carolina will manage the puck right now, getting into the zone. Svechnikov will wrap this one behind the net. Getting a stick to it with Svechnikov, but Florida able to clear out to center ice. Batted back by Aho, looking for Svechnikov. Nice play by Jones. As Svechnikov and Jarvis would have had a 2-on-1 if Jones didn't break up the pass. Now back to work is Carolina. Jarvis puts the body on Ekblad. Partial change for the Canes as Martinook and Stahl out. Rodriguez, he'll bounce this one off the boards back into the Canes zone, and it won't be icing. They'll wave it off as Orlov goes back to play it. He's behind his own net, being watched here by Sam Bennett. Orlov up for Stankoven, who gets a touch. Bobrovsky's got to play it. Forsling can't settle it down. Stankoven's there. shoved Nikishin, wanted to line up Ekblad, but he saw it coming. And that allows Florida to come back the other way. And a Martinook defensive gem knocks it away. And another chance from Marchand out in front. First time it was Marchand who was all alone. Martinook knocked it away, and then out in front, Anderson took care of the rebound.
Super play from Martinook and avoided taking a penalty in the process. And Freddie could have taken a breath. Brad Marchand's been great in this game. Penalty coming.
And it's going to be Will Carrier. Holding will be the call. And the Canes will be shorthanded for the fourth time here tonight.
Carolina 28, minor penalty holding.
This will not the power plays at 4. This is your biggest kill of the season to date. Master of the obvious point. Florida's going to have some increased confidence because they scored on their last power play with simplicity. Key element going back to that goal when Barkov, who's going to take this draw, kept the puck in before Ekblad found Tkachuk for the tip. Any clearing opportunity you get, you've got to execute that clear shorthanded. 2 defensemen on the Florida power play, so unless it's there, as magical as Carolina's been shorthanded, it's tougher against this group.
Well, it'll be a win for Stahl. Reinhart goes back. Slavin kicks it up for Stahl. Stahl will get to it. It comes out of the zone and offside. Are the Panthers as Jones tipped it in and Ekblad touched it. So 9 seconds have elapsed on the kill. 18:05 left here in the third. Carolina trailing Florida 3-2.
Just as I say that, Stahl was reaching for that puck right near the blue line. And I think he was trying to chip it to Martinook because even with these 2 defensemen, Ekblad and Jones, Martinook would have had a breakaway.
Martinook does have a shorthanded goal this postseason. The only shorthanded goal for the Canes. Florida got it into the Canes zone, but Burns does a good job of getting it to the blue line, and then it'll be shooed out by Martinook. And then Martinook will reach, and good fence job there to knock it away from Jones. And it'll be Barkov to the loose puck. He'll rim this one around looking for Reinhart. It'll be scooped up by Ekblad. His shot goes off the end boards. Tkachuk keeps it in at the left point. Rolls it around the end boards. Reinhart lets it go back and forth. Barkov now for Tkachuk, too far. Burns wants to clear and does. Minute 5 left in the kill, and Aho to the puck. He's got Jarvis with him. Feeds him. Jarvis with a short side chance. And the save made by Bobrovsky.
Aho took a peek to see where Jarvis was before sending that puck about 100 feet. Because of that, he made the play to Jarvis for that chance.
Now Rodriguez will hammer this one in. Along the boards it goes. It'll come free. And Orlov just pounds this one back into the Florida zone. 30 seconds left on this kill. Of vital importance for Carolina. Rodriguez will carry this in. A little self-pass behind the net. He'll get it back to the point. Now it's worked down low. Rodriguez works it back. Verhaeghe shot save Anderson. Bennett's out in front. Second chance. Mr. Anderson with a huge save. Puck still loose. Carolina wants to clear. Schmidt will get to it. Schmidt centers. Verhaeghe with a chance. And Frederik Andersen with a glove save. Oh, hang on.
He made 2 saves that are massive in this moment. But depending on what happens from this moment forward, are they going to become more massive? One was low in desperation. It looked like with his toe on the glove side. Then Florida comes up with the puck. Marchand and Bennett. Great A chance for Verhaeghe, the sniper that he is in the slot. You leave your feet, Martinook did, so you know if Verhaeghe's going to go high. And Freddie Andersen established a high glove position. I talked about that in Game 4. You can't go low to high. You can go high to low. And he looked it right into the twine in his glove. What a save. How big will it be going down the road?
In 1 second, Carrier will come out of the box, and Carolina does the job. That is a huge kill to keep this a 1-goal game. And then Florida clears this one over the glass. But they're going to say that it was deflected out. So no penalty. And a lucky fan from Raleigh, it's been a while since we've given them a puck, has a souvenir with 16:04 left here in the
You know what, Mike? you were winning in the third period on Monday. But whether it be then, when you had to kill a few penalties, or the penalties you had to kill in the first period, aside from coming up with a kill you had to have there, Carolina has gotten right back on the attack, including the first period. Can they do it again?
Well, they're on the attack now. Aho wins it to Burns. Burns spinning around. Tries to get a shot through, but that's knocked away. Verhaeghe will spin it to the boards. Svechnikov wants to play it, but Florida will get to it first. Chipped in by Barkov. Burns senses the pressure coming. Verhaeghe has a crunching hit there in the corner on Svechnikov, and then a loose puck finds Barkov out in front. A chance, and Verhaeghe had that shot blocked by Svechnikov. Now Jarvis, he'll find Aho. He'll slip through a check by Mikkola. Puck will be along the boards, now trying to come up with a turnover out in front. A massive humanity, a loose puck to the left of Sergei Bobrovsky, and Barkov will get some help settling it down to Jones.
It was Mikkola who, with that 6'6" size, was on his belly in front of the net. That puck just wouldn't jar loose. As Jarvis had the penetration.
Well, now a giveaway from Carolina. Marchand intercepts the Orlov pass, trying to play it down low. Watched there by Jankowski. Nikishin. Good play behind his net to find the Kane centerman. Jankowski will flip this one high. Bobrovsky goes behind his net. He'll lose it to Jankowski. Jankowski, little backhand stuff chance. It'll come back to the point. Nice play by Brent Burns to keep it away from Marchand. It'll roll around for Slavin. Slavin wanted to go back behind the net. Nobody there for Carolina. And Gustav Forsling is going to send this one all the way down to the Kane zone, and it rolled its way on Anderson, so he has to play it.
Burns with a game-high 6 shots through 2. He jumped nicely there.
Now he's got a long stretch pass for Blake. Blake and Nate Schmidt bump into each other. Loose puck. Nosek sends it out for Lundell. Lundell trying to play around Morrow. Can't do it. Nice defensive play by Scott Morrow. Bouncing puck. Chopped in the Kane zone. That'll be settled down by Taylor Hall. Hall. You'll get it back to Blake. Carolina's offside, though. They got to tag up. Blake realizes it now. So Florida will just sit behind their net. Kulikov, and he'll melt some clock until the Canes provide some pressure.
On the Hall dump in, Florida does a heck of a job at their own blue line getting a stick on it. That creates the offside.
Now Carolina back to pressure Florida. The Panthers able to clear. Knocked down by Martinook, though, at his blue line. Barkov comes in, but this will be swatted into the Canes bench, and then a little collision there between Orlov and Barkov, but no intent behind it. 13:24 remaining here in the third period. Carolina needs a goal, trailing Florida 3-2 here in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Final. You're listening to the Stanley Cup Playoffs on the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network.
Who wants to save up to $1 a gallon on gas with Harris Teeter fuel points? It's easy. Shop at Harris Teeter with your Vic card. Earn 1 fuel point for every $1 spent. Redeem your points for gas savings at Harris Teeter fuel centers in our partnering Amoco and BP gas stations. You can even check your fuel points in the Harris Teeter app. Get 4 times the fuel points when you shop on Fridays. Harris Teeter, in food with love.
Barbecue season is back. Hey, it's Ellen.
And this is Sarah Beth.
And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that zesty barbecue sauce. I love that it was a little sweet, a little tangy, and with the mac.
Hey, hockey fans, thanks for hanging out with us tonight for Game 5. The Hurricanes forced a Game 5. So we're here hanging out, cheering on your favorite team. Welcome, Panthers fans. We see you in the chat. Will you get it done tonight? The season is on the line for the Hurricanes. The Panthers could put one step closer to that back-to-back Stanley Cup championship. But the Oilers may have something to say about that from the Western Conference, but we'll see how this one plays out tonight. We're celebrating this beautiful new Play Button Silver Creator Award plaque from YouTube tonight on the stream. Thank you all for hanging out with us and hitting the like button, sharing this stream out, hitting the subscribe button if you're new. This is what it turns into right here. Thank you, TSI community, this Leafs community, Blue Jays community. Oh yeah, we're live for the Blue Jays as well right now. NBA action is part of our Playoff Pulse campaign for SickKids Hospital. And TFC, that's right, TFC as well, to match the red in here. We'll see you back in the chat. Good luck to your team.
Draw, won by Carolina. Nikishin hammers it off the boards, but it'll be icing as it's too far for everybody. And it takes just a few seconds off the clock, and it'll bring the face-off all the way back into the Kane zone. But Paul Maurice will change up his players. The Tkachuk line will head to the bench. Brad Marchand will jump on the ice with Nosek, Ekblad, Forsling, and Lundell. And against Stahl. Stahl muscles the puck. Reaching for it's Nosek. It bounces up on Martinuk. And Stankoven will clear it out. Now Orlov, he'll carry it in. But it'll be swatted away by Lundell. Up for Marchand. He's watched by Nikishin. He'll deliver it out, but Lundell intercepts the pass back into the Kane zone. Chipped at by Nosek and back into the Kane zone. Both teams will change all of their players. 5 new skaters aside. And now behind the Canes net, Nikishin. He will trigger it for Burns. Out front, and that puck just eluded the stick of Will Carrier. He was flying into the Florida zone, back into the Kane zone, along the left wing boards. Cleared out by Jankowski, but Tkachuk with the intercept. Mikkola gives it away to Slavin. Slavin will bounce one in that Bobrovsky will play. Jones has to stop it. His pass too far. That'll come all the way back in for Anderson.
You know, Mike, with the way Florida's going to play with the 1-goal lead, the chances of getting anything in transition, like you would in the first period, just really aren't there. You're going to have to get pucks deep, get in there, start the sequencing of your forecheck. The transition just isn't going to be there.
And Florida gets to a loose puck in their zone. They'll flip it all the way back. Gostisbehere will get to it. He'll go behind his net, watched by Verhaeghe. Gostisbehere will chip it up for Svechnikov. He'll chip it into the Florida zone. Forsling to it. Good read here, as the Canes will keep it in deep. Florida looking to get it out. Forsling bounce it. Now it comes out in front. Holding shoot. He scores! Seth Jarvis with the turnover. And Carolina has tied it at 3. Oh, what a big goal, Seth Jarvis.
Did this line that has been extraordinarily good ever hound the puck to even create the turnover for Jarvis to have a chance in the interior? Forsling hounded by Svechnikov. Great pinch along the wall. I believe it was Gostisbehere. So because of that, it works its way to the middle. What a pinch by Gostisbehere. And then a stick from Svechnikov to swipe it to Jarvis, who lofts it home on the blocker side.
And this building has gone bananas. Florida will get this back into the Kane zone. Marchand tries to dump it. It is deafening inside Lenovo Center. Marchand fires one. Anderson gets the glove to it, and he'll get a whistle.
Boy, did the big boys ever deliver the goods. Gostisbehere, you cannot do enough justice to speak about what a great pinch that was after the pressure from Svechnikov. But then Svechnikov made his second key play. After the pinch, Gostisbehere got a skate on it. Svechnikov just gave Jarvis a chance with this little chip to the middle. I'm telling you, Seth Jarvis, with all of his charisma, his hockey IQ is through the roof. And I think even though all he was able to do was chip it, not get a lot on it, I think he knew Bobrovsky was really moving to the glove side, so go against the grain to the blocker side, and Sergei would have no answer.
His 6th goal of the postseason. And the biggest goal of his career so far. Seth Jarvis give the assist to Andrei Svechnikov and Shane Gostisbehere. Now Florida back on the attack. Bennett, he tries a backhand pass. That's intercepted. Martinuk He'll try to carry this one in. He'll step away from Kulikov. He'll turn into a self-pass for Martinuk. He'll wrap it around the board. Stankoven gets hit up high. No call. And it'll come all the way back to the Kane zone. Then Kotkaniemi is labeled. Clean hit. Carolina will carry this in deep. Hall finishes Mikkola. Loose puck, Nikishin. He'll take it. Nikishin tees it up. Oh, what a shot. Too high. Kotkaniemi waiting on the rebound. Tries to drag it, but Bobrovsky outweighted him. What a shift here by this group. Now Kotkaniemi will paw it down. He'll send it in deep. Nikishin with a Russian rocket over the head of Bobrovsky. Puck still in the zone. Kotkaniemi a long drive, and Bobrovsky catches it and will hang on. 9:52 left here in this third period. We better count the bolts in the roof because they're coming loose. Carolina has tied this game at 3. You're listening to Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Final right here on the Hurricanes Radio Network.
To us, every moment matters. Moments of quiet perseverance and loud celebration.
Where in the world are you watching from? Thanks for hanging out with us today, this morning, this evening, middle of the night, wherever it is where you're watching from all over the world. Now's the time of the show. Please let us know where you're watching from in the chat. Let us know your city and province in there, city and state if you're in the USA, or all over the world. Send those flag emojis out and let's see where the world is gathering from. Hanging out together, making a difference with SickKids Hospital in Toronto. Thank you for being here. Just by being here, you're making a difference. With every view, it calculates into our donation as we do a percentage every single month.
Where in the world are you watching from? Now's the time to show for you to let us know where you're watching from in that chat or by visiting our new live viewers website. Holy Mackinac! As we are passing 100,000 insiders on Toronto Sports Insider, the playoff pulse is a global force. Visit TorontoSportsInsider.com to see our live viewer map and where fans are cheering from right across the globe. While you're there, check out our awesome new website and fresh merch options. Let's keep growing this global community.
9:52 remaining here in the third period. Seth Jarvis has tied this game at 3. Chip Tracy has just sent Lenovo Center into orbit with a message for the Caniacs. Nobody's sitting down as the Canes season on the line here in game number 5. Trailing the series 3-1. Well, they've tied this game at 3 apiece. And we get back to action. Carolina will deflect this into the Florida zone. Aho goes after it. Svechnikov makes a play on Mikkola. Jarvis to Svechnikov. That's off the side of the net on a sharp angle drive by Andrei Svechnikov, looking for his 9th of the postseason. Barkov trying to clear. Burns will keep it in. Aho to Svechnikov. He's got some lumber for Barkov. Puck available, and it will be tipped to Seth Jones. Jones will clear this one high into the Kane zone. Burns goes back on Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe's pass knocked out of the zone by Slavin. Bennett has to tag up. This one will be worked into the Kane zone. Anderson makes the save on Bennett. Forsling with a drive. Another save. Mr. Anderson has come up clutch here in the third period for Carolina.
What is that, 5 saves? Covering the span when you were trailing 3-2 and now at 3-3. And the huge Caniac Nation chants his name, but just think about this. The way the elimination third period game against the Rangers fell apart for him. Starting with that soft Kreider goal. This is moving on. This is overcoming. He's got to keep going. But he's a massive story here in this period. Bennett tried to go forehand, backhand to open him up. That was the big save. And then was able to get rebound control on the follow-up for this face-off.
8:57 left here in the third. Seth Jarvis at the 8:30 mark of the period has tied this game at 3. And drawing the Kane zone goes back for Forsling, and he rifles one that goes to the right of the net of Anderson. Now Rodriguez has it knocked away by Slavin, and Stahl will get to a loose puck and clear. Florida sends it back in, but right to Jacob Slavin. Nielsen this one for Burns. Burns up. Going to be peeled in by Stankoven. Bobrovsky out of his net. He'll play it around for Ekblad. This will be cleared through. Marchand has to race for it. Slavin gets back to recover. Marchand will hang on. His drive blocked by Gostisbehere. And then Marchand's taken down, and Carolina clears it out to center. Jankowski. His pass trying to center it. That'll be deflected and knocked out. Lundell has it tipped away. Gostisbehere got a stick to it. Nosek comes up to play it away from Carrier. And Schmidt will just bump this one back into the Kane zone. As Orlov tries to contact Robinson, he'll get a touch. It'll roll into the Florida zone. 7:50 left here in the third. Tied at 3. Reinhart will press this into the zone. Barkov will get to it. He'll skate it behind the net. Watched by Orlov. Barkov out in front for Hagee. Shoots and scores. Oh, what a play by Alexander Barkov. And Carter Verhaeghe takes advantage, and Florida goes back in the lead. It's 4-3 Panthers.
Beyond an exceptional play, coming up with a puck below the goal line by Barkov. He started actually moving the puck up the ice to even get into the Carolina zone. Then he carries it, fights off Orlov. Then he stops and turns back to the interior on Orlov. He drags it from below the goal line back across to a scoring area. And so many players would have shot the puck. And he sees out of the corner of his right eye Verhaeghe on his offside, no chance for Anderson. Nikishin chased behind the net, so he was caught with Orlov, and Barkov took full advantage.
Well, there's 7.5 minutes left now, and Carolina has got to find the equalizer again. Can they do it? Slavin behind his net, pulling away from Tkachuk. He'll send it across. Svechnikov working around Forsling. Svechnikov back to the point for Burns. He'll work it for Slavin. Slavin shot blocked by Tkachuk, but Slavin will keep it in. Sent deep. Svechnikov into the corner. He's fighting for it alongside Bennett. Along the boards it goes. Carolina trying to keep in. Settling it down is Ekblad. He'll flip one high into the Kane zone. Tkachuk will work it in, and Carolina's Jacob Slavin will hold it with some poise and start the breakout for Carolina. Across for Gostisbehere. Up for Jankowski to Taylor Hall. Hall takes a hit from Mikkola. Worked around the boards by Gostisbehere. Knocked away. Good play there by Marchand to clear it out, but only as far as center. Blake to it. He'll drop it for Jankowski. Looking for Blake. Pass goes to the left wing boards. At the top of the circle, Carolina keeps it in at the point. Orlov with a good read. He'll get it to Gostisbehere, but another good stick there by Brad Marchand.
He's had a super night.
Now Carolina will hang on to this one. Orlov. 6:05 left here in this third period. Martinook will chip this in. Stahl skating in with a purpose. Bobrovsky moves it around and out to center ice where Nikishin settles for Carolina. And you're going to see Jacob Slavin every other shift right now for the Canes. He went to the bench for about 30 seconds, and came right back.
Even when you need a goal, I think you'll still see a lot of him. You're going to see a lot of Shane Gostisbehere and Burns for sure. You'll see a lot of Gostisbehere and Burns.
Florida offside, and that'll stop play with 5:33 left in the third. For Carolina, they need a goal to keep their season going. Trailing the Panthers 4-3. You're listening to Game 5 coverage of the Eastern Conference Final of the Stanley Cup playoffs here on the Hurricanes Radio Network.
What? What? New scratch-offs are out? That means new chances to become a North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club member.
Yeah, in the Winners Club, I'll reinvent myself. I won't go by just plain Todd. I'll go by Toddrick. I'll get a gold jacket, play my saxophone again. I'll stop and smell the flowers. Call my mom more.
Ugh, wrap it up, Todd.
It's Toddrick.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $100 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 3.35 to 4.58. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hey everyone, Adney and Verk here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch the movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit. The cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hockey is a game of speed, and the Triangle is one of the fastest growing regions in the country. At the center of the excitement are Lenovo and the Carolina Hurricanes, partnering to unveil the Lenovo Center. With one of its global headquarters in the Triangle, Lenovo is the perfect partner to launch a new era of technology and fun. Don't miss out. Come check out the Lenovo Center and cheer on the Canes. During all road games this postseason, the Carolina Ale House is offering the ultimate viewing experience for all fans. When the Canes force a Game 6, be sure to join Stormy and the gang at the Carolina Ale House in Cary for the next watch party Friday night. That's the Carolina Ale House, exclusive sponsor of the Canes watch parties. Trying to speak that one into existence for you, partner.
You know, Mike, with 5.5 left, I mean, you're still several minutes away from it, and the season on the line. But I think you're going to wait a fair bit. You know, for me, it'd be around the 2-minute mark with still over 3 minutes to get there. Hopefully, you tie it before you think about Anderson.
This line has had a hand in every goal. Sebastian Aho with 2. Seth Jarvis with 1. They're on the ice right now. Jarvis in the corner. Orlov jumps in to help out this trio. It'll be knocked away. Smart play by Jones. He'll just flip it into the Cane zone. Orlov takes a peek. He'll play it for Slavin. Slavin up the boards for Svechnikov. He'll be knocked away by Tkachuk. He'll get it to Bennett. Bennett with a long drive misses everything. And Slavin will play it. Chased behind his net by Tkachuk. He'll pull it away from Tkachuk. Across his own blue line is Slavin. He'll get it in deep. Carolina's put out the stall line. Lundell pinched behind the net. Martinook going to help out Stankoven. Stankoven to a loose puck behind the net.
Heck of a play from Ekblad to seal Stankoven there and break the puck out.
Rodriguez flips it to the Cane zone where Burns gets it to Gostisbehere. And now Carolina back in. Stankoven dragged down. It was a legit play, though, by Lundell. And Marchand into the Cane zone. He's sealed off neatly by Gostisbehere. Burns across for Gostisbehere. Gostisbehere across the rink. His pass. Jankowski was pushed offside and couldn't tag up. Smart play made there by Nosek, and that'll stop play with 3:58 left here in the third.
Yeah, so Rob Brind'Amour, I mean, he's already looking up at the clock, and, you know, he's thinking about how he's going to employ his lines. He actually already has the dry erase board, but he'd never call a timeout right here. I mean, I can't imagine. Neutral zone draw. But you're thinking about, his biggest gauge is going to be, you know, whether guys are tired with regards to that future timeout. He's thinking about how long there's feel, there's numbers that go into lifting Frederik Andersen. And I still think you're not pushing a ton right now, so with just under 4 to play, O-zone draw, anything around 2.5 minutes left, full possession, anything around 2 you're lifting in my book.
Now this puck cleared by Tkachuk into the Cane zone. Aho will take a shoulder to get it to Slavin. Not out, it'll be deflected on, and Anderson will melt it down with Bennett at the top of his crease. And 3:42 remaining in the third. Florida leading Carolina 4-3 here in Game 5. If Florida wins, they move on to the Stanley Cup. Carolina needs a win to force Game 6 in Florida.
Tim Gleason running the defense he's been really leaning on Orlov and Slavin together, two lefties right now. And I think his mindset is you want to eventually, when you hopefully get to the attacking zone, have the lefty and Gostisbehere, who helped to set up the tying goal earlier in the period, and the righty and Burns together.
Face-off won by Florida. Forsling fires one off of the inboards. They'll take a bounce behind the net. Lundell trying to tie up some time. And a nice play made by Jankowski, but Lundell will steal it right back. Orlov there to help. He'll work this along the boards. And it was deflected off of the glass and out by Taylor Hall. So it'll be another defensive zone draw for Carolina.
Yeah, and Slavin actually goes to the bench, I think just for a towel or some water with all the minutes he's played. And I think that's it's a gamble. Because Orlov and Slavin have been on for a long time. But they've been your best two defensive defensemen tonight. And you want to have the lefty and the righty, the offensive guys, and Burns and Gostisbehere if you get there, and fresh.
Florida wins the draw. Jones sends it behind the net. Orlov, he'll bump into Rodriguez. Bennett to a bouncing puck behind the net. Stahl will eliminate him. You remember Stahl hit that post in the first period trip. Flush, he had Bobrovsky beat. And now a penalty coming up to Florida. A slash with 3 minutes to go here in the third. And if you ever need a power play goal, here it is.
I think Sam Bennett thought that there would be more of a flexible constitution deep in the Carolina zone. He comes over the top of Stahl and knocks the stick out of his hands. I guarantee you that Bennett didn't think that they called that at this point in the game. He knocked the stick out of his hands. Your fifth power play try. Your first two were your best looking power plays. Let's hope that you get to the expiration of this before you think about Anderson when Florida can ice it for free, so you don't pull him down.
Canes are 3 for 18 in this series on the man advantage. And Sam Reinhart, who we talk about all the goals that he scored in Florida, and he led the Panthers in scoring in the regular season. He's a dynamite shorthanded player for this Panther team. He clears it. And Carolina now has 1:40 here on the power play. Jarvis, he'll get it in. Drop, Svechnikov shoots, misses. Aho side of the net. That goes through the crease. Gostisbehere will keep it in. Behind the net for Aho. Anderson is headed to the bench for the extra attacker. Jarvis across for Gostisbehere. Blake in the slot. He's hooked there by Barkov. He gives it away for Reinhart, and he misses, but remember, no icing.
That was a gift. Is Reinhart even from, 160 feet, isn't going to miss that much. Martinuk on the ice. His sole job, I think, is the net front.
Carolina will wind this one in. Svechnikov will get to it. He'll reverse it around for Jarvis. Under 2 minutes left in the game. 55 seconds left in the power play. Gostisbehere, Aho, Gostisbehere tees it up, knocked down out in front, still loose, shot through. Bobrovsky doesn't have to make the save, goes off a leg. Gostisbehere tees it up, Bobrovsky saw it and kicks out the right leg. Marchand to a loose puck. He'll clear it and get a bounce back in the Kane zone. 35 seconds left on the power play.
You got to make some changes. You still have your timeout available if it gets to it.
Well, Blake will leave it for Jarvis. Sent around, Svechnikov to the point. Aho keeps it in. Gostisbehere at the blue line. Still good. Blake to Gostisbehere. 15 seconds left on the power play. Aho shot through. Blockered away. Jarvis with the rebound. Jarvis drops it back. Gostisbehere through traffic just misses. And there's 2 seconds left in the power play. Barkov gets to it. It'll be knocked down. Bennett can have an empty net. He's going to hustle out in front, and he scores. Sam Bennett out of the box. Had a gaping net, took it in the corner, and it's 5-3 Florida with 53.4 seconds left here in Game 5.
You know, special teams, it's a results business. And you're going to go 0 for 5 on the power play tonight in an elimination game. Mike, you need results, but that power play, you went to a 6-on-4 for a good percentage of it. That power play really had all of the chances you desire. I consider 3 or 4 really good ones, and it just didn't go. And then the clear happens. You know, Barkov has been exceptional, even by his standards in this game. The clear happened right as Bennett was coming out of the box. Gostisbehere was out of gas, tried to get back as the puck went off the end boards, but Bennett had all the time that he needed to give Florida their first 2-goal lead. Brindamore's going to call his timeout. Can't give up on this thing with 54 seconds left, but you know, if the Hurricanes don't do something miraculous here late, 0 for 5 in an elimination game on the power play is going to be talked about to the ends of the earth, and it should be, because it is a results business. But the first and the second, especially the one at 2-0, that's the biggest one, that you weren't able to make it 3-0. But you really had all the chances that you'd be looking for. 5-on-4 and then 6-on-4 with Anderson on the bench. And Bobrovsky was massive. Florida sold out. You couldn't get that bounce. You haven't gotten that bounce off of bodies the whole series, but you know, the power play just hasn't been able to find it tonight.
Anderson will stay on the bench for the extra attacker. Neutral zone face-off. Florida scored 2 goals in 30 seconds. Aho wins it back. And it's just wide of the empty net. Burns will get to it. 45 seconds remaining. Carolina needs something quick. And I'll say to that what hit the curved glass at the end of the Florida bench. Either way, face-off will come out back to the neutral zone.
The one thing you could have used, you know, in that power play is a whistle somewhere along the way towards the end of it to at least be able to burn your timeout.
Yeah.
You know, because naturally there was pure exhaustion.
Mikola's shot, bodied down Aho. He's dragged down by Lundell, and Florida's not going to touch the puck. Now Mikkola does, so Carolina will get a power play with 28.4 seconds left here. Lundell going to the box.
Florida penalty number 15, 2 minutes for tripping.
Well, aside from the fact it gives you an offensive zone face-off, you know, with the seconds are so precious when you need 2 goals. You know, you're thinking right here, you got to win this draw clean, and you've got to shoot. You got to look to shoot, because even if you score, you're going to have a neutral zone draw, and you're going to go back to 5-on-5. So I think you got to look to make sure you shoot the puck in the first 2 or 3 seconds here if you win the draw.
Right away, Aho against Barkov. Burns and Gostisbehere, the point men. And Aho sends it forward off the draw. Mikkola tries to clear, and he does. And it'll come out over the blue line. Carolina needs to tag up. Burns will send it all the way around. Hall trying to get to it. It'll be knocked down. Gostisbehere will keep it in. 15 seconds left. Svechnikov to it. Svechnikov back for Gostisbehere. He's got to shoot. Lets it go off of the glass. As that high shot is there. 5 seconds left. Back to Gostisbehere. Teed up for Burns. He'll miss the net. And the clock hits 0 on the Carolina Hurricanes season. The Florida Panthers win Game 5. And they'll eliminate the Carolina Hurricanes in the Eastern Conference Final with a 5-3 victory here tonight.
If you just focus on this game, Mike, for me, it was the power play in the second period. You started the power play like you played the first. The power play that had all the looks to make it 3-0, and it didn't go. Then you took the offensive zone penalty, and Barkov, who was, for me, the first star tonight by a significant amount, kept the puck in. You get the tip on the Ekblad shot from Tkachuk. That was the big goal. Florida had a decisive edge in this game, in this series, of scoring in bunches, like they did. Those 2 rapid goals in the second period. The guys, the Hurricanes, they emptied the tank. They dug in. I thought they're, you know, with the 2 big injuries on Chatfield the whole series and Walker for the last few games, you know, the young guys, Nikishin looked young tonight. And, you know, if I look at the series in its entirety, I felt going in, especially with Florida coming off of a Game 7 2 nights before, you had to get in front of the series. They didn't do that. They dropped the first 2 at home. But they gave me all sorts of hope and belief in Game 4 because they refused to go quietly into the night. And they had their opportunity tonight, just like they did against the Rangers in Game 6 last year, to extend it. Got the start you were looking for. I think more than anything, it was that third power play that actually was the second power play that didn't enable them to deliver what potentially would have been a dagger to make it 3-0 at the time.
The handshake line is almost done. And for the Carolina Hurricanes this year, you go back to the start of the season, where people had their eye on how would this team look. Well, 47 wins, 99 points, 31 wins here at Lenovo Center Ice. And the faithful here that have stayed to cheer on their team for another run to the Eastern Conference Final. And they're given the stick salutes by the Carolina Hurricanes. And again, Carolina will make it to the third round, but they will not find a way to advance to the Stanley Cup Final. Florida will await the winner of the Dallas-Edmonton series, where Edmonton has a 3-1 lead over the Stars. And there will be the trophy presentation, the Prince of Wales trophy, that goes to the champion of the Eastern Conference, third year in a row, that Paul Maurice and his Florida Panthers will be able to say that that trophy is theirs.
Well, the guy that'll receive it, I thought, is the guy that dragged his team back into the fight tonight when it was all Carolina, and that's Alexander Barkov, and then he sets up the winner. It stings massively. And even with the start that you needed to have in the series that you didn't get, I genuinely believed, and there were some Hall of Fame hockey people that reached out after the first period, like elite Hall of Fame greats, and said, it's a series now. It's truly a series. And I think that it would have been. But Florida, after losing Ito Luosterainen, going to 11 forwards, they were better in the second periods here in all 3 games, which Carolina had dominated in the second periods against New Jersey and Washington. They turned it, and they didn't need much to turn it when it was all Carolina, and they're going back to the Stanley Cup Final. The Hurricanes had that lapse in the second period. Their power play just didn't get them over the hump tonight, but the huge Caniacs have appreciated it. They gave it all that they had. They emptied the tank.
And again, the trophy presentation coming up for the Florida Panthers. And before we say goodbye and turn this one over to Adam Gold, anything else you want to add, partner?
No, because right now it's painful because of the way this game was there. And it was going to take 60. And, the power play, for obvious reasons, has been such a talking point for all of these playoff runs. And it got off to such a rip-roaring start in the New Jersey series. And really, at the end of the day, with 5 tries in this game, and I thought, again, the one at 2-0 was the biggest one early in the second, you just need conversions. And, beyond that, it'll take me more time to absorb this, because when Jarvis tied the game in the third period and this place went off its rocker, and then you got a couple of good chances. Barkov made the play of all plays. He was able to...
Hey, you! Yeah, you! I'm talking to you! Thanks for hanging out with us this afternoon, this evening, what time it is, wherever you're watching from all over the world. Now that we have your attention, please help us continue to grow this amazing community. We are over 100,000 subscribers here on YouTube. and we want to keep climbing all the way up to 250, all the way up to 1 million. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hitting that subscribe button and helping us grow this awesome community. Don't forget to turn on that bell so you don't miss it when we go live for every single game of the Eastern and Western Conference Finals for both the NBA and the NHL as part of our Playoff Pulse campaign.
Hey, you! Yeah, you! Joe Bowen here, voice of the Leafs. Holy Mackinac, we've passed 100,000 insiders on Toronto Sports Insider. The Playoff Pulse campaign is unstoppable. Let's aim even higher. Subscribe now and join this amazing community making a difference. Together, we're showing SickKids the power of sports fans worldwide. Let's keep growing this global community.
Hey you, yeah you, Easton Cowan, Leafs prospect here. I'm loving these Playoff Pulse live hangouts. Subscribe and turn on the bell to catch every game. Keep the chat buzzing and let's cheer for SickKids together. See you in the chat.
To every child and family who've needed us since 1875, and all who support us, our hospital needs no introduction. But just in case, it's SickKids. And it's our 150th birthday. Our mission has always been healthier children, a better world. The first children's hospital in Canada, SickKids. Pasteurizing milk to prevent disease 30 years before it was mandatory. The heart-lung machine that transformed open heart surgery. A pediatric kidney transplant in 1969. SickKids, SickKids, and SickKids. We discovered the gene for cystic fibrosis so patients live longer lives. And we just created the world's first Atlas of Cancer using machine learning to analyze 13,000 variations. Today, the hospital sees over 130,000 patients a year. We're a research powerhouse, a training magnet, attracting nearly 600 clinical and research fellows from around the globe every year. And we're the #1 publicly funded children's hospital in the world. We're celebrating 150 years of excellence, driven by philanthropy. What's next? Thanks to donors like you, we're going to keep healing Canada and the world, and we're going to heal the future.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
I want to thank you. Thank you for supporting the kids.
Thank you for helping us save kids' lives.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being. Thank you.
Good as it needs to be. And I thought that Carolina really improved their heaviness this year. But I think that they're going to try to take a look at, in creative ways, how you can be tougher to play against.
Yeah.
Because the game changes in the postseason. And does that guarantee that you're even going to get back to this point? Heck no. But those would be the biggest things that I'm going to start to think about as I start to absorb, the pain that's in me at the current moment.
I'll put it in these terms. For Carolina, that is now their problem. They have to solve this Rubik's Cube of getting through here. But
Good
again,
analogy.
There are, I can assure you, I don't know if I can say 31, but there are probably about 28 teams in the NHL that will trade places with the Carolina Hurricanes for what they were able to do this year. In the offseason will come, this team will take a look at what they need to do to get to that next level.
Can I, and we'll have plenty of time to talk about that, can I just tell you how much fun I had with you? I mean, all year, but in the playoffs, people won't see the booth cam tonight because it was in a loss. But, I mean, even by as enjoyable as the booth cam was, Mike, I love you. It was so much fun being in the trenches with the group and with you, full investment. And, it's incredibly painful for us, too, that it's got to come to an end. And with everybody with Stanley Cup dreams, it comes, it's euphoria, and then it comes to just a halt of all halts. So, but I can't tell you how much fun I had with you.
Oh, the same, partner. And if you'll allow me the Dr. Phil moment, which I know you're so fond of, that is sarcasm for you who are still listening here on the Hurricanes Radio Network. You're a true partner, and you have made what I do in this job every year, every game. You've made me better. And, again, I hate it because it's a gut punch because this ride is over. And I don't know if I've ever enjoyed the ride more than this year.
I'd even
from the finger guns for the first booth cam to what I don't know if it'll ever see the light of day this year. I know to be behind the scenes.
I don't like to compare the runs 2002, of course, winning in 2006, but the fact that you and I as partners, when in the simulcast and radio took over, and the way the fans reacted to the passion of the booth cam, being there in the trenches on the road, I can say this, I've never been a part of a more enjoyable run. And so much of that has to do with you and the fact that the guys gave us everything they possibly had. It didn't work out, and I love you. I'm going to get in my car and probably have to take some deep breaths because this game was right there.
Yep.
But I have so much gratitude for the journey that we've enjoyed together.
Yeah, I don't want people to focus on the negative. There are a lot out there that do that. You're a big boost of positivity. And that'll do it for us. Coming up, Adam Gold will wrap up the Hurricanes Radio Network portion of this broadcast. And special thanks to those who make these broadcasts possible this season on the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network. Our executive producer is Mike Sundheim, the senior producer, John Brockwell, studio producer at Master Control in Raleigh, Rusty Helzer, assistant producer, Chris Morris, studio host, Adam Gold, the flagship station, 99.9 The Fan, and their program director, Paul Eihander. Thanks to all of the radio sponsors along the way, our technical staff here at the Lenovo Center. Thanks to this Carolina Hurricanes team that gave us another ride to the Eastern Conference Final, and their head coach,